As we get into the late afternoon hours, former NFL Coach of the Year Dick Jauron with the Chicago Bears. He played many years with the Detroit Lions in his second season as the coach of the Bills. Andy Reid has won the Coach of the Year honor twice in his career, 5 division titles. He brings his Eagles into this game today against the Buffalo Bills with David Akers kicking off. 10 straight games without a touchback. They need that long leg, and they have not gotten it. And Terrence McGee is back to get it for Buffalo. It's the Eagles against the Bills, making their first trip to the link since they built it, and it's picked up by Preston, who takes it. He's an offensive lineman who takes it up to the 32-yard line and a 13-yard return. Duke Preston with the return. Quarterback Trent Edwards struggled with the Giants last week in horrible weather with 3 interceptions, 2 returned for a touchdown. Bell in 84. From the 32, it's first down and 10. Gains the fullback slash tight end. A block by Walker. And Edwards, with the pocket collapsing, is brought down by Trent Cole. It is a gain of 2. And up to the 34-yard line. Rookie free agent Akeem Jordan will take his place. And Brian Dawkins is out with the foot injury. J.R. Reed replaces him. Will James replaces the injured Lito Shepherd. It's second down and 8 from the 34. Marshawn Lynch out of Cam. And goes up the middle, brought down by Gokong. It's a hard-earned run of 11 yards. He's up to the 45, and he's got a first down.
And I would anticipate a lot of runs to the left, running right at Trent Cole, helping out Kirk Chambers. You can see Marshawn Lynch. They have to run the ball. When they run the ball well, that's when the Bills have a chance. When we talked with Dick Jauron last night, he said, if we have to drop back and throw it 35 or 40 times against this defense, we are in trouble.
Joselio Hansen has become a 5th defensive back because Parrish has become a 3rd Buffalo receiver. First possession of the game, 45-yard line, first and 10. And Lynch, a block by Butler, and the initial hit put on him by former first-round draft pick Roderick Bunkley. It's a gain of 2 up to the 47-yard line.
I think first down is a key down for the Bills in this game. They struggle on first down. Last year, they were last in first down yardage. This year, they're not much better. And if you're not good on the early downs against this defense, they get after you on third down.
Why hasn't this offense progressed over the years?
Well, you know what? I think they've had some injuries, obviously, but with the inconsistency at the quarterback position, in my opinion, has really stymied this football team.
No changes either way. Nickel secondary, second down and 8. And Edwards throws it outside. It's the former Redskins starting tight end Robert Royal with the catch and the run, brought down by Hansen. A catch and run of 4 yards into Eagle territory at the 49.
And you see he's held the ball a couple times, and you cannot do that against this Philadelphia defense. The ball has to come out quick. You have to know where your quick answer throws are, because you know Jim Johnson, with a young quarterback, he is going to find a way to test him early and heat him up with some blitzes he hasn't either seen or prepared for all week.
Bunkley is out. Darren Howard has come in at one of the defensive tackles. Third down and 4. 5 defensive backs. Jackson was in the backfield as a running back. That pass is outside. The coverage by Will James, intended for the speed merchant Roscoe Parrish. Incomplete on their first possession today. The Buffalo Bills have got to punt the ball.
And this, as a quarterback, this is one of the things I struggle with. Roscoe Parrish is a fast guy, but he's not a big receiver. And working across the middle of the field, particularly on those third down situations, you want a big body guy who can post up those linebackers and nickelbacks and find a way to get open.
Reno Mahe is back inside the 15-yard line, and punting will be Brian Moorman, a 2-time Pro Bowl punter, one of the best in the league. And this one is sent to Mahe, who gets it at the 14-yard line and is brought down by the long snapper, Neal. Ryan Neal out of Rutgers makes the stop. It is a 10-yard return, a 35-yard punt. And the clock at 12:01, our first look at Donovan McNab when we come back. The Buffalo Bills had it 5 plays punt. This is the Philadelphia Eagles' first possession today from the 24-yard line, first and 10. They send Reggie Brown along with Curtis atop your screen. Tapei is the fullback. Westbrook in the backfield from the 24. Fake to Westbrook. They bring the blitz. The linebackers coming up the middle to Giorgio coming on one side and Ellison on the other, and down goes McNab. A loss of 6 and back to the 17-yard line.
Giorgio just coming right up the middle gap. You can see a little stunt off the edge. The Eagles aren't prepared for it. And that's just a question of guessing wrong. The first play of the game, anticipating some zone. They get heated up with a blitz right up the middle. And Donovan McNab is not ready.
He had sent his receivers deep, too. They were looking maybe for a home run ball on that first down.
Looking for a big shot on the first play of the game and just guessed wrong in terms of the protection as well as the route concepts.
Avant is the third receiver. Second down and 16. Extra defensive back is Yabodi. And a handoff to Westbrook. He gets a block in the play by Harrimans. And he works his way out to the 29. He's brought down by Kelsey on a gain of 10. The quarterback, Donovan McNab, is coming off one of his best games with 3 touchdown passes and no picks at New Orleans. The Pro Bowl guard, Sean Andrews, who missed last week with an injury, is back. Those tackles, Thomas and Runyon, with their 118th consecutive start together today. And running back Brian Westbrook is nearing some significant team records today. He has had a great season. There is a player down at the 17-yard line for the Philadelphia Eagles. John Runyon is the guy who is down on a knee. So we have an injury timeout, 11:08 to play. It's the Eagles' first possession in this game. The 12-year starting right tackle, John Runyon, gets hit in the knee. Got hit in the head with the knee. It looked like
Selleck.
Yeah, Selleck, Brent Selleck, the rookie tight end, came and got him. 3rd down and 6 from the 28. That's McNab throwing to Curtis, the free agent, and a good pickup from the St. Louis Rams, brought down by the 5th defensive back, Yabodi, on 3rd and 6. A sinus infection today. Nickel secondary. Avant is the 3rd receiver. It is 1st and 10. They blow that dead in mid-motion as Brown caught it, uncovered on the near side.
False start, number 36, offense. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Walt Anderson is working our game today. He also works Super Bowl 35. And he was a line judge on that game. As you take a look at Westbrook, who just passed the all-time Eagle record for yards from scrimmage, held by former Eagle Wilbert Montgomery back in 1979. That's when he set that. 1st and 15 back to the 31. Bond stays in there as the extra receiver. Yabodi is still in there as the nickelback. And Westbrook dancing away. Jabari Greer runs him out of bounds at about the line of scrimmage, at about the 31-yard line. There is no gain on the play.
And this is something that the Buffalo defense has to do a better job of. Run fits. Being in the right place, forcing runners like Brian Westbrook to run east and west to the sidelines, get a bunch of hats on him. That's really the key to stopping this Philadelphia offense. Brian Westbrook accounts for so much of the production in this offense. You have to know where he lines up on every play and get a bunch of hats to him when he has the ball in his hand.
Little housekeeping with Runyon going out. Winston Justice is in there, a 2nd-round pick a year ago out of USC at that right tackle position. Greg Lewis is coming as an extra receiver on 2nd and 15 for McNab. Out quickly and incomplete, looking for Reggie Brown, covered by Terrence McGee. Incomplete pass.
I'll tell you, the Bills are not being shy with their pressure packages. Now, they've come after Donovan McNab on a bunch of these snaps. They're bringing pressure, and they're bringing it from the linebackers. You're watching DeGiorgio and Ellison, Crowell. They're doing a good job with those stunts, getting extra pressure on him. They don't generate a lot of pressure from their front 4, and so they have to bring perimeter people to get it done.
Selleck is the tight end. Basket is the extra receiver atop your screen. 3rd and 15. Still 5 in the secondary for the Buffalo Bills. He's going deep, and he's looking for Curtis, and he's covered by McGee, and the ball went outside, and the route was almost taking him on the numbers inside. Incomplete. Is that a quarterback issue, or is that a route running issue?
Well, I tell you, I just think it's a mistake. You're picking on their best corner, Terrence McGee, and you got 3 of the other starters in the secondary who aren't playing today. This is a secondary that's really been decimated by injuries. They should have a field day going after the safeties as well as the corner on the other side, Jabari Greer.
The #1 punt returner in the NFL is back, Roscoe Parrish. The Savraka punt is picked up by Parrish, who is quickly taken down by Joselio Hansen, reserve defensive back, on a 1-yard return, a 41-yard punt. We're in Philly this afternoon and 9:01 to play. Fantasy football season is not over. Sign up today to play NFL.com Playoff Challenge. Only at NFL.com/Playoff Challenge. With Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan. Each team is at it once. 5 plays punt for Buffalo. 6 plays punt for Philadelphia. 30-yard line is where the Bills will get it for a second time. 1st and 10. Still no word on the starting right tackle, Runyon. Caught a knee in the head. Still on the sideline. They're still looking at him. 2 tight ends. Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. It's 1st down and 10 for the Buffalo Bills.
It's a run. Every time they hand signals like that, it's a run.
You're right again. Here comes Lynch, the Pac-10 Offensive Player of the Year, brought down by Sheldon Brown and also hit by the middle linebacker Gaither. It's a gain of 6. He's up to the 36-yard line. Last week against the Giants, the perfect storm. Bad snap to Mormon gives the Giants great field position. They score on the ensuing possession. Pro Bowl offensive lineman Jason Peters injures a groin on this play. Not soon thereafter, it was Dante Whitner roughing Giants punter Jeff Beagles. The Giants score on the next play. Horrible sequence of events for the Bills last week. 2nd down and 4. Ball at the 36. There are 4 defensive backs. On the quick handoff to Lynch. Going up the middle. Brought down by Gokong on a gain of 2 to the 38. Let's go to JB in our CBS studio.
Hey, Kevin and Rich. Well, you know, Seattle certainly already locked up the 3rd seed in the NFC. Running back Sean Alexander, 100th career rushing touchdown, capping a 10-play, 82-yard drive. Seattle on top, 7-0. Back to Kevin Harlan and Rich Gannon.
They are the number 3 seed. By the way, Alexander coming off one of his best games since early in the season last week when they beat Baltimore. He had 73 yards on the ground. In fact, they've been booing him of late up in Seattle. JB, thank you. 3rd down and 1. 2 tight ends. This is Lynch out of Cam. Brought down by Broderick Bunkley. There is no gain on the play and 3 plays and out. And the Buffalo Bills have got a punt for a 2nd consecutive possession. Back to our New York studios and James.
Hey, Kevin and Rich, how nice a move getting Ryan Grant was. Take a look here with this 27-yard touchdown run. Nice moves to pay dirt. That makes it his 6th straight game with a rushing touchdown. 7-3 Packers. Back to Kevin and Rich.
Remember, they beat the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving, 37-26. But you're right, Grant is great. They traded for Grant just before the season began after Morency was injured. And, you know, he was on the practice squad. Didn't even play last year. JB, thank you very much. Buffalo's got to punt the ball. They brought the chains on the field just to make sure the measurement was correct, and it was, as Lynch could not carve the 1st down.
And this is why you spend so much time during the week in short yardage and goal line offense. You have to be able to make 1st downs when you have 3rd and 2 or less. And that's something that the Eagles do a very good job of on offense, converting almost 70% of them. While on the other side of the ball, the Bills have really struggled in that particular category.
2nd consecutive punt coming up. Reno Mahe is back. He was undrafted out of BYU. He led the NFL in punt returns back in the 05 season. Good snap from Neal, and that has been a concern of late for the Buffalo Bills. He signals 4 and is allotted a fair catch at the 27-yard line and a punt of 34 yards. 7:06 to play in the 1st quarter. 2nd look at McNab. A scoreless game in Philadelphia. William Justice continues to take the place of the starting right tackle John Runyon out, they think, for a good part of this game with the concussion. Now, this is a 2nd-round pick out of USC last year. He blocked for 3 Heisman Trophy winners while at Southern Cal. From the 28, 1st down and 10. 2nd possession for the Philadelphia Eagles, who punted after 6 plays the last time. Westbrook takes it up the middle. Brought down by Brian Scott, a one-time starter with New Orleans and Atlanta. Gain of 2 to the 30-yard line.
Well, you want to know why the Eagles are not going to the playoffs this year. It's not because they haven't not a good offense, not a good defense, but look at the turnover differential. This is really where they've fallen off. 11 interceptions defensively. That's the fewest in the National Football League. 19 takeaways. Again, the fewest in the National Football League. They're always known for having an interception or fumble return for a touchdown. The big plays on defense have disappeared.
Westbrook atop your screen as a receiver. 2nd down and 8. They got a linebacker covering him on top, and there's a deflected pass with a good rush coming up the middle. Hargrove among many getting in the grill of Donovan McNab, and Chris Kelsey out of Nebraska may have gotten his hand on that pass.
And look at that set, and you look at Kelsey, and you see Winston Justice in there. They've made the change now with Runyon out. You have to be more aggressive, particularly on 3-step throws if you're a tackle. Chris Kelsey's a veteran player. He does a good job using his hands, getting his hands up when he knows that Donovan McNab is ready to throw.
Yabodi is coming as a 5th defensive back. You see the receivers deployed. 3rd down and 8 for Donovan McNab. That's caught by the rookie tight end Selleck out of Cincinnati, leading all Big East tight ends in receiving yards last year. Brought down by Kyle Williams. A catch and run of 11 on 3rd and 8. A first down to the 41-yard line.
And they do a nice job. You're just going to run a little under route. And look at the linebackers. You see Crowell there. They're just not quite sure. And this is an area where they've struggled all season long in their zone coverage concepts from the linebacker position. They don't do a good job in space looking up those receivers.
Tepay is back in as a fullback. Now 4 in the secondary for the Bills. 1st and 10. Philadelphia's 2nd possession today. Outside to Kevin Curtis. Hit by Jabari Greer, and he's out of bounds at about the 46-yard line on a gain of 6. As a quarterback, how do you view the tight end as opposed to wide receivers? Always as a safety valve, or how is the tight end viewed?
Well, that's one of the problems that the Eagles have had this year. You know, L.J. Shelton, L.J. Smith, he's had the injuries this year. He has not been productive. They haven't gotten enough big plays from the tight end position. In this West Coast offense, you need big plays in that position, particularly in the red zone and on 3rd down.
Bodie back in as a 5th defensive back. They brought in Jason Jefferson as a defensive end. It's 2nd down and 3. They go outside, caught by Jason Avant out of Michigan. Holding on for dear life is Yabodi. And he's got the first down catch and run. He's down to the 45-yard line of the Buffalo Bills. He picks up 7 yards. Jason Avant, 4th-round pick last season out of the Wolverine program.
And not real complicated. A lot of 3-step throws in this system. They want to get the ball into the hands of the playmakers and let them go to work. The receivers, they don't blow you away with their speed and quickness, but they are very productive players.
That short drop back good for getting the rhythm and the tempo of your offense.
And that's really where Donovan McNab really excels, getting the ball out of his hand quick, making good, precise reads, and being very accurate with the throw.
4 defensive backs, 1st and 10. Fullback Tepay is back in. End around to Curtis. Reverse, double reverse, going off to Reggie Brown with the McNab block, and a tackle made at about the 40-yard line by the starting middle linebacker to Giorgio on a gain of 6 yards to the 39-yard line of the Bills.
You look at Reggie Brown, he's going to come around. You see the double reverse. Now just watch the blocking out in front. Watch Donovan McNab. You got to do something now. You got to do something. You got to become a blocker. You got to help these guys out. Help out your buddy.
How's his knee, Rich, which was blown about a year ago about this time?
You know what? I think he's finally feeling better. You know, he got healthy. He was back. And then he hurt the ankle. He's had some problems with some swelling, some inflammation, but he's told me the other day he feels better, and you can tell he is playing better, particularly when he pulls the ball down against the run.
There's a block by Tepay on the 2nd down and 4. Knocking Westbrook out of bounds was Jimmy Leonard. And the run to the 20-yard line, a 19-yard pickup and a first down on Philadelphia's 2nd possession today.
And this is really where they're at their best. When they get the ball to Brian Westbrook and let him go to work. Get him out there on the edge. Let him work in space. That's really where he's dangerous. And Kevin, I tell you, in terms of value to a team, I don't know of a running back more instrumental to the success of an offense than Brian Westbrook. Jefferson,
McCargo on that defensive line with Larry Triplett and Kelsey. That's the 4 out there for the Bills. First down and 10. This drive began back at the 28-yard line of Philadelphia. From the 20 of Buffalo, to pay the fullback.
That's great. They saw that pressure coming from the Bills. Somebody jumped up there up front.
Ball start, number 72, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's their 3-time Pro Bowl left tackle, William Thomas, 10th-year player.
And you're going to see, look at the top of your screen. He sees the pressure coming. He's a little antsy. He's trying to get that down block. And that's what you have to do on that part of the field. It can get loud, but you just have to settle in, really focus in on the cadence of Donovan McNab.
There are 2 tight ends, Selleck and Schobel. Schobel missed last week with a concussion. First down and 15. He's playing against his brother on the opposite side. And that's Aaron Schobel. There's a pass, and it's caught by Matt Schobel. He played for the Bengals. He's down to the 16-yard line. Brought down by Crowell. Pickup of 8. Back to JB in our New York studio.
Hey, Kevin, you know that Chicago knocked the Packers out of a shot at the number 1 seed, trying to snuff out the New Orleans Saints playoff hopes. A bullet from Kyle Orton to Mark Bradley, 24 yards, 10-0 Bears over the Saints. Back to Kevin Harlan, Rich Gannon.
You mentioned Kyle Orton. He had a 103 quarterback rating last week in the Bears' 35-7 win over the Packers at Soldier Field. JB, thank you. 2nd down and 7 from the 17. Greg Lewis is the extra receiver. 5 in the secondary. That's through the hands of Curtis. Brought down by Jabari Greer. Incomplete pass across the way. Now for a look at the NFC playoff picture with Dallas having home field with Green Bay's loss last week.
Well, you know, Washington, they really determined their fate, a win, and they are in. The Vikings, they're going to need some help. They need to win. Plus, a Washington loss or tie the Saints, they need a lot of help. They need to win, and also they need Washington as well as the Vikings to lose. Not very likely.
Greg Lewis remains the third wide receiver. 5 in the secondary for the Bills. They go to the nickel, 3rd down and 7. I began back at the Philadelphia 28. Good block by Thomas. Oh, he didn't spin his head around. There's a flag. It was intended for Greg Lewis. Coverage by Yabodi, but he didn't spin that head around quick enough, or he would have been in for 6.
And one of the things you got to do if you're a receiver.
Pass interference, number 26, defense. First down.
That's Yabodi out of Ohio State.
And he was probably covering over the slot. One of the things you have to do as a receiver, you have to sense the pressure. You're just going to watch. He's going to slip, and he does a smart thing there. He tries and grabs, and that's what you have to do in that part of the field. You can't give up the big play. The thing that surprises me, though, is Greg Lewis never looked back for the ball. He saw the pressure coming. You have to react quicker, knowing that Donovan McNabb doesn't have as much time to hold the ball.
Well, in a route being run by a receiver, how quickly, when do you spin your head around? Let's say in a route like that, I mean, right when he's off the line of scrimmage?
A lot of it's predicated on the route, the concept, the depth of the drop. He knows at 5 or 10 yards he needs to start looking. But in that situation, in that part of the field, things happen quicker. You have to get your head around, particularly when a defense blitzes your quarterback.
Good-looking drive by the Eagles on this drive. One of the big plays, a 19-yard run by Westbrook.
Please reset the play clock to 8 seconds. 8 seconds on the play clock. Play clock will start on my signal.
So the ball is at the 9. It is 1st and goal. 2nd possession for the Eagles. 10th play of the drive to pay back in as a fullback. There are 2 tight ends at the bottom of your screen. Schobel and Selleck.
Going to get that play clock set.
That's a look at our drive today, and the second one by the Eagles. Over 5 minutes it is taken on this first quarter clock. McNab. Westbrook, oh, he's drilled. Incomplete pass. You may have heard footsteps. Angelo Crowell comes in with the crack. He is the only linebacker with a safety, a sack, an interception, and a fumble recovery this season in the NFL.
And running backs hate these late outlet throws. The quarterback's eyes are downfield. He kicks it out late. Watch it. Boom. You can see running backs don't like to take those hits to the head, especially when they're looking back for the ball. And that's really on Donovan McNabb. You have to have eyes. You have to be able to look out in front of throws to make sure you don't put your backs and your receivers in vulnerable positions.
2nd down and goal at the 9. Fake to Westbrook. They go the opposite way with some misdirection. He's brought down by Keith Ellison at about the 2-yard line, and a catch and run of 7 yards. You talk about that a lot, throwing or having your eyes at least look ahead of the receiver.
Yeah, and you have to see out in front of throws. They do a nice job here with the screen game. They are maybe the best screen team in the league, and I think a lot of it has to do with Brian Westbrook. He has a lot of patience back there. He has a good sense and understanding for coverages, and he does a good job getting up behind those linemen, making cuts, and being very decisive.
He has the most receptions of any running back in the NFL. 3rd down and goal at the 2. McNabb slipped, regains his footing, and throws to an open rookie tight end. Selleck, touchdown. That's Brent Selleck out of Cincinnati.
And this is really where I've seen the improvement from Donovan McNabb in the last 3 or 4 weeks. He's shown better patience in the pocket. He's done a much better job moving and sliding around. Look, his focus is to the right. Watch him set, slide, come back up inside. This is quarterback footwork at its best. Just good patience and good understanding of the system by Donovan McNabb.
Selleck had caught a couple of long passes last couple games. 29-yard reception against Dallas, 29-yard reception last week in New Orleans, and he just caught his first touchdown pass in the NFL. Akers will try the extra point, and the Philadelphia Eagles on their 2nd possession have a long drive and a touchdown pass by McNabb. His 19th of the season. 7-0 Eagles in Philadelphia. Good-looking drive orchestrated by Donovan McNab. It's 5 different receivers, including his rookie tight end, Selleck. He was 6 of 9 on the drive. The key player, one of the key plays on that drive was a Bills penalty on 3rd down, kept the drive alive, and gave them a goal-to-go situation. And Dick Duran, one of the best people you'd ever want to meet in the National Football League. We had a long talk with him yesterday, and we talked a lot about Kevin Everett, actually. And his eyes got teary recalling last week when he visited the team for the first time after his rehab in Houston, and talked to his teammates for a short while. But it was a very emotional moment last week, and some of that emotion carried over to our meeting last night. So the Eagles are on top on a 2-yard touchdown pass to Selleck. There is Terrence McGee. He has 7 career touchdowns. 5 have come on returns. So he is a very dangerous kickoff man. He kicked it short to him the first time. He gets it here at the 6-yard line for Buffalo. And dancing with Lewis, trying to bring it down. Then the other reserve receiver, Jason Avant, brings him down after a 19-yard return up to the 26-yard line. Tonight on CBS, the race around the world has teams navigating through India. Only 5 teams remain, and the pressure is mounting. Don't miss the 5-time Emmy Award-winning Amazing Race. That's tonight after 60 minutes on CBS. So here is Buffalo's 3rd possession today. 5 plays punt, 3 plays punt. They begin here at the 26.
Look at this, a lot of left formation today from the Bills. They're going to do that to help left tackle Kirk Chambers.
There are 2 tight ends for Edwards on 1st and 10. A little bit ahead of his receiver, the veteran, Lee Evans. Coverage on the play by J.R. Reed, 2nd down and 10.
I think they really have to be protection conscious early, particularly at the left tackle position. We talked about Kirk Chambers making just his first career start. Without Jason Peters, their Pro Bowl left tackle, last week they gave up 3 sacks, including the first allowed in 3 games by the Bills. And so they lose that comfort that they had with the Pro Bowl over there. Now they have to do a better job helping him, particularly early in this game against Trent Cole.
3 tight ends, one of which is serving as a fullback here. It is 2nd down and 10, and the run by Lynch works its way out to about the 27-yard line. And he is brought down by the middle linebacker, Gaither, on a gain of 2. There's Gaither, the middle linebacker, who has been playing well. He really took the place of Jeremiah Trotter. He leads the team in tackles. They played him all over the place. Since he got to Tennessee, he was on the weak side. Then he was on the strong side here. Now he's in the middle. I think they're getting comfortable with that group of linebackers. They've really come on, particularly the last month of the season, starting to come up and produce some big plays. Roscoe Parrish is the 3rd receiver. Hanson, the 5th defensive back. It's 3rd down and 8. Good time for Edwards. Going deep, and he's got Evans, but the pass underthrown and then broken up eventually by Haselio Hanson at the 34. Looking for a frustrated Lee Evans. And this is just inexperience. He had Lee Evans. He just puts too much air on this throw. Watch how long it hangs up. You have to be able to get things up and down in between a corner and a safety. Those holes close too quickly. Watch them recover. First of all, it's underthrown, but you can see the safety come in and over the top. You don't have a whole lot of time in the NFL. Well, is the arm strength even there for Edwards? Does he have an arm to go that deep? I think he can throw the ball. That one was not a very good throw. He needed to get it up and down quicker. Foreman gets off a rocket. Mahe drifting back to about the 17-yard line for Philadelphia. Forced to the side. And then brought down by Costanzo, who is a special teams player who was in camp with the New York Jets. A 13-yard return. 56-yard punt. At the end of one, the Eagles on top on a Donovan McNab 2-yard touchdown pass to the tight end, Selleck. Frustrating beginning for the rookie out of Stanford. Quarterback Trent Edwards has had it 3 times. 5 plays, punt, and 2 3-and-outs. On the 29, Buffalo will take over. As you can see, where the Bills have been outscored handily in the 2nd quarter this season. 4 defensive backs. It's 1st and 10 from the 29. The fake to Westbrook. Here comes McCargo. Screen pass. There's a lead block on the play by the Pro Bowler Andrews, and a run when he was tripped up by Brian Scott of 21 yards. He's right at the 50-yard line. 1st down. Well, I tell you, they just kill you with the screen game. They fake the draw. Look at the line get out in front. The line does a nice job declaring. They get out and throw, and then Brian Westbrook, we talked about his patience.
He's decisive, and what happens is he's a shorter back, and you lose him behind that offensive line when they're out in front. It makes it very difficult to tackle him in space.
88 receptions on the season for Westbrook. One more. He'll break the tie for all time in one season with Irving Fryer. 1st and 10. That's a bullet thrown to Kevin Curtis. Over 1,000 yards receiving this season. Brought down by Jabari Greer. It is a gain of about 4 or 5 on the play to the 45-yard line. The hit game show with the questions that have America talking is back. 5 questions can win you $10 million. Drew Carey hosts the Power of 10, returning Wednesday on CBS. McNab has thrown a touchdown pass of 2 yards. 2nd down, long 5. Buckhalter is in the backfield. Good block by Thomas. And Corral Buckhalter is brought down by Angelo Crowell. It's a catch of 6 yards, and he's down to the 39. That is another 1st down for Philadelphia.
Well, they just look so comfortable offensively. I watch Donovan McNab. I watch his body language. I watch his drops getting away from the center. He looks strong, and he looks comfortable. I watched him last week against New Orleans, a couple big scrambles, and I think if he can use his legs on 3 or 4 plays in every game, where he pulls the ball down, he scrambles, he gets 1st downs, that's really where he can help this football team, and that's really where he's at his best.
Lewis is the extra wide receiver. 5 defensive backs. McCargo on the line. Jefferson is the defensive end. 1st and 10. He's using his legs right here. McNab is brought down by John McCargo, who is the #1 pick. There's a flag down at the 48-yard line. It's a loss of 8 on the play. McCargo would come up with the sack, which would be his 2nd career.
74, offense. Penalty has declined. It's 2nd down.
That's the kid taking the place of the injured starting right tackle John Runyon. That's Winston Justice, who was called on one of the very first plays of the game. Concussion with the knee to the head to Runyon. He has not returned since.
And both of these tackles, Winston Justice and William Thomas, are going to have their hands full today because Aaron Schobel and Chris Kelsey, the 2 ends for the Buffalo Bills, they don't take plays off. They play every play. They have high motors. They're effort and energy guys, and you have to play every play.
3rd receiver basket, bottom of your screen. 5 defensive backs, 2nd down and 18. Look at the time for McNab. He's looking for Westbrook. He's covered on the play by a defensive end, Aaron Schobel. Well, you'll take that matchup every game to the 17-yard line. A catch and run of 30 as the defensive end is watching one of the great playmakers in the NFL right now in Westbrook.
And you're just asking too much from Aaron Schobel to cover a back like Brian Westbrook out of the backfield. He does a pretty good job, but a perfect throw there gets it done. And this is just a nice job by Donovan McNab. Watch, his eyes are downfield. Watch where he drops this one in the only place he possibly could have gotten it done. Great throw and catch.
Hargrove is coming now for Kelsey atop your screen as a defensive end. 1st and 10. The pitch out to Westbrook with the stutter step and brought down by Schobel and Keith Ellison on a gain of 4. He's down to the 18. Let's go now to JB.
Kevin and Rich, I know you guys know the Packers have already shown up the 2nd seed on the 1st round bye, so I'm wondering why is Brett Favre still in there? But Favre, while he's in there, throws his touchdown toss 4-yarder to Bubba Franks. Packers are on top of Detroit 21-3. Favre has never lost to Detroit at home, including the playoffs, 16 games. Kevin Harlan, Rich Gannon.
Oh, that was a sweet nugget, JB. Thank you, Favre. Over 4,000 yards passing for a 5th time in his great career. 2nd down 6, the ball at the 13-yard line. End around, Reggie Brown, a high pick out of Georgia a couple years ago, chased by Leonard, who loses his helmet. And the tackle made about the 10-yard line on a gain of 3. Leonard was undrafted out of Wisconsin, but he's one of the great all-time leading interceptors in the history of the Big Ten Conference, #4 all-time.
You know, it's interesting. You watch the Packers playing Brett Favre. You look at what happened last night in the Giants-New England game. I think coaches realize the importance of playing these guys, the fact that they want to go into the playoffs on a good note, on a positive note. But I really was impressed with what I saw last night. The Giants really laid it on the line, and now they have to come back and possibly play on Saturday against the Buccaneers. It's going to be a tough thing for them to do, but that was impressive performance last night.
3 receivers, 5 defensive backs, 3rd and 3. Here comes Crowell. There's the pass. It's intercepted by Yaboni. And a high pick out of Ohio State last year is brought down on the play by Curtis. at the 24. Here come the boos now, cascading down on Donovan McNab, who has thrown his 7th interception, but his first red zone interception this year. Timeout, 10:08 in the second quarter. McNab throws his first interception in his last 125 pass attempts, going back to November 18th against the Miami Dolphins in this building. He had 64 trips in the red zone before throwing a pick, which he did right there, and Yabodi comes up with it. That is his first interception of the season. 2 tight ends, 1st and 10. Marshawn Lynch, blocked by Reed. And around his ankles on that line, the tackle is made by Abamiri. It's a gain of 3.
And you just go back and look at the interception. Just an example of a quarterback trying to do too much, making a poor decision, particularly in this part of the field. And you never want to start working to your right and throw back across the formation. And you see Yabodi right there for the interception. But that's something you wouldn't expect from a veteran quarterback like Donovan McNab, and particularly a quarterback who's done such a good job this year in the red zone protecting the football.
2nd down, long 7. Again, the 2 tights remain. There's the handoff. Fake to Lynch, and the pass goes to Michael Gaines, a former starter with Carolina. He goes out with a gain of 5 to about the 31-yard line and brought down by Gokong and Jordan, a couple of linebackers. Again, mark him down at the 31-yard line. Michael was there as well.
You know, it's a number of players having some problems today with their footing. They did replace the surface here, the grass here, a couple weeks back, and players are really stumbling. And that's why I would anticipate a lot of these players making some changes on the sidelines, going with some of those longer screw-in cleats to help them with the footing.
4 defensive backs. That means the linebacker's got to go out and cover somebody. 3rd down and 3. Edwards with the pocket fumbling, uses his legs to get away. He's hit by Jaquay Thomas. He gets it off. It's caught by Jackson out of the backfield, who is hit by Bradley. The gain is 5. It's a 1st down to the 36-yard line on 3rd and 3. The 1st down pass by Edwards.
And I like Trent Edwards, his poise in the pocket. He doesn't come unraveled. He's just sitting there waiting, and watch the hit he takes. You have to have a tough jaw and be willing to sit in there sometimes to make the difficult throw.
Abiyamiri is still in there. He is out of Notre Dame and a rookie and a 2nd-round pick. 1st and 10 with 2 tight ends. Good block by Chambers. Outside it goes for Royal. He gets a block from the other tight end, Gaines, and then he's brought down by Gaither along with Gokon on a catch and run of 14 yards and a 1st down to the 50-yard line.
You know what I really like? It's a learning experience every time out for Trent Edwards. And you can just see, watch this hit at the end of the play. I mean, you think that this game is important to these players. 2 7-8 teams. They both want to finish the season 500.
Well, I was wondering the intensity. What would they play with on a meaningless game like this?
Well, you know, Dick Duran told us the integrity of our league is built on effort. I think both of these players, both of these teams and these players believe in that.
Nichols secondary. There they jump off Trent Cole, I think, on the side, although he's pointing to the Bills like he was induced. And they had moved early.
You know, a lot of these players, Kevin, are playing for their careers, for their futures.
Number 66, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Starting left guard Derek Dockery, the ex-Redskin, picks up that foul.
You know, and some of these players are going to be free agents at the end of the season. A lot of people around the league will be watching this film, watching to see what type of energy, what type of effort these players put forth in what is known as a 7-8 team, but it's not a meaningless game.
1st and 15, 2 tight ends on top. There were 2 receivers down low, and Edwards gets away. He goes off to Jackson, a D3 running back, who caught it and was brought down on the play by Akeem Jordan out of James Madison. It is a gain of 3. He's up to the 48-yard line.
You see the offensive line. They're doing a pretty good job giving Trent Edwards some time. He's doing a good job moving around in the pocket, buying some extra time so these receivers have a chance to get open.
Hansen becomes the 5th defensive back. 2nd down and 12. Lynch is back in as a running back. That's caught by Gaines. Good move by Bradley. Good move by Gaither. Brought down by Gokong. Some shifty moves by a pig lumbering tight end of 12 yards. He's down to the 39.
And this is what I think they have to do more as an offense, get the tight ends involved. There hasn't been a lot of production from the tight end position this year, but you can see Michael Gaines, a player that they're high on. But they really use these tight ends in terms of blocking. They're very involved in pass protections as well as in run blocking for Marshawn Lynch.
First down and 10 from the 39.
Here's another run. Every time he does this, it's a run, and you gotta know that.
That's a handoff to Lynch, blocked by Chambers. Tackle made by Jaquay Thomas on a gain of 3 on this drive, which started back at the Buffalo 24. A catch and run by tight end Royal of 14 and by 12 for the tight end Gaines.
You know, and I watch a lot of film, Kevin, during the week, as you do. But you know that Jim Johnson, the defensive coordinator for the Eagles, is watching a ton more than we are. And every time Trent Edwards does that, it's been a run. It's consistent.
We'll pick that up when we come back. Gaither is down. Injury at 5:31 of the second. A McNab red zone interception sets up this Buffalo drive. Second down 7 if you get back at the 24. From the 36. Marshawn Lynch, a Chambers block. He got by Cole, and he's brought down by Akeem Jordan at about the 22-yard line. Good looking run at 12 yards. Another Buffalo first down.
You go back and watch Trent Edwards. This is something they're going to have to address and get straightened out. You watch him at the line of scrimmage. They have a check with me system, so he's trying to get him into the right run. He's going to look out to the receivers to try and fool the defense. Look at the defense turn around. They know it's a run. Every time he's done that so far today, it's been a run. They need to get that straightened out.
Tight end in the backfield. First down and 10. There's a block by Langston Walker. Out of bounds it goes. Who was over there? No flag on the field as of yet. All the officials are looking at each other. Let's see if they confer, and they throw. Nothing yet, but here's the meeting.
There it is.
Yep.
Intentional grounding, number 5, offense. Spot foul, lost the down, second down.
Walk us through that for a quarterback. Where do you have to go to make an intentional grounding not involved in the call?
You have to be outside the tackle box, and what happened was he wasn't outside the tackle box. The other thing was there wasn't a receiver in that part of the field. You can see nowhere on the screen. What they were trying to do was they're trying to run a little out and up on the right side of the formation. The Eagles did a nice job covering it. And Trent Edwards tried to look backside for an outlet throw. It just wasn't there. And that comes with experience, knowing where all your outlets and checkdowns are in the system.
5 defensive backs. Third receiver, Roscoe Parrish. Second down and 20. This is Lynch. Butler pulling from the guard. Oh, he's drilled on the play by Sheldon Brown, who's had a solid season. Brown makes the stop. It is a gain of a yard. He's to the 32.
And I like Sheldon Brown. The thing I like about these Eagle corners is they cover well, but they're complete players, and they play the run so well. They are physical, and they'll tackle, and they'll hit you. And you can't play in this system for Jim Johnson if you're not a complete corner. They are very, very physical.
Still the 5 defensive backs. Tight end Royal at the side of Edwards along with Lynch. Third down and 18. They need the 14-yard line.
That's the pressure.
Right up the middle. Downfield, incomplete. There's a flag. It was a hit by Stuart Bradley. Also, they had Reed and Joselio Hansen.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer, number 55. Defense. Contact to the quarterback's head. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Stuart Bradley had his first start last week in New Orleans for the Eagle defense. He is a rookie and a third-round pick out of Nebraska.
And I'll tell you, you just have to know where you are in the field and have some poise. I mean, to take a shot like that on a quarterback in that part of the field, you just put your team in a bad situation. Now, instead of getting off the field, you give the Bills a first down in a red zone.
It was 3rd and 18. You're right. Now it's at the 18-yard line. Back of the ball, touching the 18. That's officially where it is. Again, Buffalo getting this drive started back at their 24 after McNab threw a red zone interception. His first of the year. First and 10. Lynch. And Gaither among many brings him down. Also hit by Cole on the play. It's a gain of 6 yards. They'll spot him at the 12-yard line.
Well, I enjoy watching Marshawn Lynch. I mean, he's not the biggest back, but he does have the ability to push the piles back. And he's one of those throwback guys where the runs in the early part of the game, the 2- and 3-yard runs, eventually become 4-, 5-, and 6-yard runs later in the game when he begins to wear on you with that big offensive line he has up front.
2 tight ends, 4 in the secondary, 2nd down and 4 at the 12.
Here comes another run.
He called it. It's a block by Dockery. Then he's devoured by Jaquay Thomas. He's back to the 12, back to the original line of.
Pointing to the defensive line. They're going to have to do something with that. And that comes with experience. He's learning every time out, and you just can't telegraph what you're going to do.
It's 3rd and 4. Jackson in the backfield. Nothing to Evans in terms of catches today. They've thrown to him once long, but he did not receive it. Dumps it off. There's a catch by Lee Evans, drilled by J.R. Reed. That knocked Evans down to the 10. Evans makes his first catch today. Now it'll be 4th down and 2.
And that's why we talk about it's always important to see out in front of throws. Is it man? Is it zone? Is there a defender waiting in that space? You have to help your receiver.
We've reached the 2-minute warning in the first half from Philadelphia. The Buffalo Bills have decided to try for 3. And here's Ryan Lindell, who has made 18 of his last 19 field goals. Here is a 29-yard try. There is very little wind inside the stadium today here in Philadelphia. Snap from Neal. Foreman with the hold, and the Bills are on the board. Remember, a red zone interception by McNab, and the Bills cash in with 3 at the other end. All right, coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, JB and Company with scores, news, highlights, and a total look at the playoff picture. That's coming up next from our studios in New York, the Sprint Halftime Report. A field goal of 29 yards by Lindell. McNab has done a touchdown pass. There's a look at J.R. Reed. He's been released twice by the Eagles in his short career. J.R. Reed from the 5-yard line for Philadelphia. Down immediately by Hargrove on that defensive line, and a good special teams guy. 15-yard return. We got 1:52 to play in the first half. A McNab touchdown pass of 2 yards. A field goal moments ago by the Bills. Good play by their defense before that when they picked off Donovan deep in scoring territory. Those are some numbers from the last drive. They begin at the 21st and 10. 4 defensive backs. That's hit by DeGiorgio, the middle linebacker. The gain is out to the 24-yard line. The catch made by the guy who caught the touchdown. Selleck, gain of 5. Mark him at the 25. Timeouts remaining, 3 for the Eagles and 3 for the Bills. 2nd down and 5. Now a 5th defensive back has been brought in. Lafont is the extra receiver. McNab. Lafont. Leonard makes the tackle, the catch and slide at the 47-yard line. It's a pickup of 22 yards. Make it 23. Mark him at the 48.
You take away that interception down in the red zone. Donovan McNab has been very efficient today and does a good job orchestrating the 2-minute offense. 5 defensive backs, 1st and 10. This is Westbrook dancing, gets a block from that rookie tight end Selleck. He's chased out of bounds by Ellison. The clock is stopped. The gain is to the 48-yard line and a pickup of 4 yards. 1 minute to play in the first half. The Sprint halftime on deck. JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, Coach Bill Cowher. Scores, highlights, and playoff news coming up on the Sprint halftime report. You were talking about Donovan McNab. In the last 2 weeks, he's really been on fire. I mean, 471 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. But the key is an additional 90 yards on the ground rushing. And I think, again, we talked about when he is at his best, he has the ability to use his legs and really put pressure on the defense.
Nichols secondary on that 2nd down and 6. McCargo and Jefferson put on the tackle positions.
Number 74, offense. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That's the 2nd time the justice has been blown for a penalty today. 3 pre-snap penalties on Philadelphia so far in this game. And again, Runyon, if you're just joining us, left early in the game Caught a knee to the helmet. Concussion, probably will not return.
And that's what happens. You lose one of your bookend tackles, and you plug a player like Winston Justice, and you know he hasn't had a lot of reps this week. Very difficult assignment.
Avant is the third receiver, 2nd and 11, 5 in the secondary.
Another one. Another false start.
False start, number 83, offense. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Greg Lewis picks it up. He had a touchdown reception last week in New Orleans.
And this is the difference with the Eagles this year. I mean, we always talk about the difference between an 8-8 team and a 12-4 team is not that much. It's close. And they just haven't been on the same page. They haven't been on the screws in every facet of the game. Offense, defense, the kicking game, the penalties. Have not done a good enough job, and that's really why they're going to finish the season out of the playoffs.
Lewis stays 2nd and 16. 5 in the defensive secondary. It's outside to Reggie Brown, who makes the grab. After a slow start, he only had 8 catches in the first 4 games. He's had 49 in the last 12. That was a gain of 8. McGee was covering on the play. The ball and the receiver go out of bounds at the 50-yard line.
And, you know, if I'm Donovan McNab, I'm excited about playing against the Bills today. I mean, both safeties are out. You got Brian Scott back there and Jim Leonard. You're talking about your 3rd and 4th safeties. They're thin on the back end. There's really some opportunities in the passing game today for the Eagles.
No changes either way. 7 different receivers have been hit. 3rd down and 8 for McNab. Outside, caught by Curtis. First down, right in front of McGee. Sliding at the 39-yard line. Picks up a gain of 11. And the clock is stopped at 48 seconds. A timeout has been taken. We pause as well. Philadelphia took that timeout. They got 2 remaining on this drive, which started back at the 20 for the Eagles. A 23-yard pass to Avant, an 11-yard pass to Curtis. They're down to the Buffalo 39.
But I tell you, I like Kevin Curtis. Over 1,000 yards receiving for the first time in his career. Been a nice free agent acquisition for the Eagles. Not the fastest guy, but he's a sure-handed receiver, and he always seems like he's in the right place at the right time.
Hargrove has taken the place of Aaron Schobel at the bottom of your screen, defensive end for the Buffalo Bills. First down and 10. Nichols secondary. Avant is the 3rd Philadelphia receiver. Good block by Justice. Incomplete. Looking for Westbrook. And the coverage across the way by the defensive tackle, Kyle Williams.
And that won't hurt him. In fact, that's probably a positive play in that situation. The Bills did a nice job flushing out that screen. And an incompletion in this part of the field in a 2-minute situation doesn't hurt you. The Eagles still have 2 timeouts left. Plenty of opportunities in the red zone.
Schobel has come back in. Kelsey is left. Hargrove takes the place of Kelsey on the opposite side. At the defensive end, 2nd down and 10. That's the only change either way. Here comes the blitz by Yabodi, the stinger from the corner, but McNab gets away and throws. And it's caught down the sideline by Greg Lewis, who is covered on the play by Leonard. The catch and run taken to the 13-yard line. A 26-yard pickup. The clock is stopped with 37 seconds in the first half.
And if you blitz and you miss, then you really hurt yourself on the back end. And you can see Lewis coming across the field. Jim Leonard can't keep up with him. That's the free safety miss. Look at the miss. Yabodi, the miss there. And that will drive defensive coordinators crazy. They have him pinned back. They have a sack. Donovan McNab does a nice job escaping, and that's really where you're vulnerable in the back end.
Tight end Schobel at the top of your screen. First down and 10 from the 13-yard line. 3 receivers at the bottom of your screen. Oh, here comes the blitz again, and Ellison brings him down. Keith Ellison coming through with his 2nd career sack, the 1st of the year. It's a loss of 8. There's a timeout taken. Philadelphia has 1 remaining.
Just watch the right side of the line. They don't get it straightened out. The center has to work to his right. And he actually works to his left, and he turns a linebacker, Ellison, loose on Donovan McNab in the red zone. You just can't do that.
2nd down, 17 into a nickel secondary. McNab going deep, looking for Curtis, who is covered by Jabari Greer on the near side. Incomplete pass. 3rd and 17 coming up.
And that's one of the problems when I look at the Eagles offense. They've given up, and they've taken too many sacks. 45 coming into this game. That's far too many for an experienced offensive line and a veteran quarterback. I think on a number of those occasions, Donovan McNab has held the ball. The other thing is he was limping a little bit. He was gimpy earlier in the season. He wasn't moving as well, so his escapability, the ability to get out and make people miss.
He's hit Avant for 23, Curtis for 11, and Lewis for 26 on this drive. 3rd and 17. Last time down here, he threw a pick. We send the pressure again. That's incomplete. Looking for the triple team Schobel. He was covered by a defensive tackle, a safety, and a defensive end. So they can't get anything but a 3-point attempt right now. So 2 times in the red zone. And so far, not a whole lot of success.
And you can see Andy Reid, he's not happy. They've not done a good job in their protection schemes. Buffalo has done a very, very good job heating them up, bringing pressures, and the Eagles haven't had the answers.
So here is Akers. 3-time Pro Bowler, all-time leading Philadelphia scorer. This is a 38-yard try. The punter Rocca with the hold, and 3 more on the board for the Eagles, who now take a 10-3 lead over the Buffalo Bills on the last game of the regular season. But the Eagles couldn't get 7 on that drive. Philadelphia's had 2 consecutive trips into the red zone, an interception the last time, and this just most recent trip, they limit the Eagles to a 38-yard field goal by Akers. So the defense of Buffalo has had 2 pretty good defensive stands here.
They've done a nice job in the red zone holding, and I think the thing that's helped them, the pressures, the blitzes have gotten home.
Subsequent kickoff by Akers. He gets this one on the ground, and on the hop, it's picked up by Fred Jackson, a tiny pro college in Iowa. He was on the practice squad last year. Avant brings him down. 18-yard return. Look where they'll have it at about the 44-yard line. 13 seconds to play. Buffalo with 3 timeouts.
You know, we looked at that video coming out of the break, and you think these players have mailed it in? I don't think so. I know this. They're professionals. They're the very best of the best. They take a great deal of pride in their preparation and performance each week. And, you know, you look at the game last night with the Giants. We talked about their effort that they put forth in a game that really was meaningless in terms of their playoff implications. It says a lot about the players in the National Football League.
They need about 20 yards to get in field goal range. Edwards moves out of that pocket, chased by Jaquay Thomas, and throws incomplete down the side. You saw something because you wanted to bust in there. It's 2nd down and 10 coming up.
And this is one of the reasons why they're struggling. You feel bad for Trent Edwards. Josh Reed is a veteran receiver. When a quarterback gets outside the pocket, they have a thing called the scramble drill. And it's imperative that the receivers come to life. You have to stop what you're doing, put your foot in the ground, and start working back to the quarterback at a friendly angle to give him a place to throw the ball. They're not doing a good enough job of that when Trent Edwards gets outside the pocket.
2nd down and 10. The extra tight end is in the backfield. Lynch, a block by Gaines. Down by J.R. Reed eventually. A hard-earned run of 7 yards by Marshawn Lynch, who is down to the 49-yard line, which takes us to halftime. So Philadelphia gets a 2-yard touchdown pass by McNab and a 38-yard field goal. A couple good defensive stands by the Buffalo Bills. They get a 29-yard field goal from Lindell. At halftime, it's the Eagles 10 and the Bills 3.
CBS Sports presents the Sprint Halftime Report. Sprint, proud sponsor and avid fans of the NFL.
All right, folks, and welcome back to New York in Studio 43. I'm James Brown with the Sprint Halftime Report. Let's get you caught up in the action in the first half around the NFL. My guys, of course, Dan, Coach, Shannon, and Bowman.
Hey, JB, Happy New Year, babe.
And you know what? Hey, Happy New Year to you as well. Jacksonville, let's get it going.
Hey,
Dan.
Sage Rosenfeld, he finds Owen Daniels in the back of the end zone, 2-yard touchdown. That puts them up 14-7. Then Quinn Gray returns the favor, Ernest Wilford, for a 6-yard touchdown. Then on the next kickoff, Andre Davis down the sideline. I don't think anybody's going to catch him because this guy can fly. He just outruns everybody. 97 yards for a touchdown. That's his second 97-yarder of the year for the Texans.
Houston looking for the franchise's first ever 500 season. Niners and Browns. Coach.
And Cleveland's looking for their 10th win of this season. Josh Cribbs, their AFC Pro Bowl returner, is going to take his first punt return back for the year for a touchdown. He already has 2 kickoff returns. And Derek Anderson is going to score a 45-yard touchdown right here to Braylon Edwards. Now, Anderson later hurts his hand. He did come back to the sideline, and Brady Quinn came in and led them to a field goal. So we're getting to see a lot of the future right now in Cleveland.
Cleveland, of course, hoping that Tennessee loses tonight. Then the Browns will be in the postseason. Saints and Bears, Shannon.
Yeah, JB, they're sipping on chicken broth, but they didn't get the memo that New Orleans was trying to make the playoffs because Kyle Orton and the Bears team is not cooperating. Mark Bradley, 19 yards, and they're up 10-0. But Marcus Colston, 2-yard touchdown, 3-yard touchdown. Excuse me, my bad. Adrian Peterson, wide open. Bernard Berry, a 9-yard TD reception. And here, 5 better ways to get him the football. Kyle Orton, David Hester, 55 yards. JB, Chicago's rolling. If they played like this early in the season, they would be going to the playoffs instead of going home 24-14. Chicago.
Injuries played a little bit, didn't Shannon? Shannon, no sensitivity, huh?
No.
Syracuse, number 5, Donovan McNab.
Is this the last time he's introduced as the starting quarterback at the Philadelphia Eagles? I don't think so. Come on, guys. Brian Westbrook having a heck of a day, setting franchise records for most yards from scrimmage. That was held by Wilbert Montgomery. Also broke Irving Fryer's record for most receptions in his season, 89 thus far today. How about Ashton Yabodi? He's going to rip off a ball right there from Donovan McNab. Donovan McNab, 13 of 19, 140 yards, 1 TD. They're leading 10-3 at halftime.
Boom, with the theatrical pause at the beginning. Lions pack Shannon.
Brett Favre did not play long, but he was very effective when he was in the ball game. 5-yard touchdown reception from Corey Robinson.
Who's he playing?
Detroit. Bubba Frank can't run that far or fast. 4 yards, JB. Touchdown, Brett Favre, 9 of 11, 99 yards, as he daps on Bill Levy, the ref. Now, you know you're good. When you can dap the referee on a touchdown pass, you're real good. And Brett Favre is.
Favre has never lost to Detroit at home. That's 16 games,
and he never will.
Including the postseason. I hear you. Coach!
And Seattle trying to prime themselves for next week's home playoff game. Sean Alexander going to get in an early score, 2-yard touchdown run. And Chris Redmond, who's really been impressive the last 6 quarters, over 400 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, finds Joe Horn here. And then after a sack and fumble of Hasselbeck, Warwick Dunn's going to go 5 yards in, but Hasselbeck will respond back like good football teams do. He's going to find Bobby Ingram on this 30-yard touchdown pass, and it's 17-14, but Atlanta is driving at the end of the first half.
What are they driving, Cadillac?
They're getting ready to score again. I'm telling you, get ready to score again.
They're driving a U-Haul.
Panthers and Bucks, boom!
All right, well, Luke McCown in for Jeff Garcia as Tampa elects to rest a lot of their key players. You don't know how that's going to affect them next week against the Giants. Matt Moore is still going to deliver 2 touchdown passes. This one to Christian Fourier for a touchdown here. Yeah, he's still playing. And how about his Dante Rosario? He's still playing. Well, these tight ends making plays today.
I should be out there making plays, man.
17-13. That's right. At halftime, Carolina over Tampa.
You're making them here, Shannon. Bengals and Dolphins, Dan.
And Carson Palmer's on fire here in the first half. He finds Chad Johnson in the back of the end zone. That's his first touchdown reception. Carson Palmer, 3 touchdowns in the first half. Here's the second one to Chad Johnson. He breaks away 70 yards down the sideline. He's showing off for all his family back in Miami. Chad Johnson, 2 catches for touchdowns in the first half, and then Palmer at the end of the half finding Antonio Chapman, 3 touchdown passes, 21-10. Cincinnati over Miami.
Say which team?
I mean, you look at Cincinnati. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, these guys, which team's going to show up? But they're showing up the last game of the season.
Back to the second half of your game.
Who they, Bill, as they say. Who they?
I don't know who they are.
CBS Sports presents the Sprint Halftime Report. Sprint, proud sponsor and avid fans of the NFL.
Donovan McNab has thrown a touchdown pass. That is our halftime score last weekend of the regular season. Broadcast today being brought to you on CBS in high definition TV. Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan. Buffalo's defense pretty impressive. A couple of red zone trips down there for the Eagles didn't produce much more than 3 points.
No, they've done a good job. They stymied them in the red zone, and they've really been put in some bad situations all season defensively, but they play hard. And on the flip side, offensively, just 104 yards of offense, just 1 of 5 on third down. They have to find a way to generate some offense.
What about McNabb's first half?
it was an efficient first half, and I think he did a nice job moving the team, managing the game, moving around the pocket a little bit. You see him taking the sack there. The interception, though, in the red zone was devastating, was costly. But the thing that I like, he's using his legs better. He's moving around, and I think when he does that, he gives him the best chance to win.
A lot about McNab has been written about and talked about this season. And through 30 minutes of football, here are some of our numbers.
Man, you look at the total yards. We talked about Buffalo, just 104, and time of possession, not a big deal, but they're just not getting enough opportunities. And what happens is when you don't convert on third down, you're not doing a good enough job on first down, then you keep your defense out in the field too long. And what happens, we've seen all season long with the Bills, their defense, they get exposed and they get worn down some. And I think that's really hurt them. They have to do a better job offensively, putting some long drives together.
Two teams at 7 and 8, and here is the kickoff to start our second half. J.R. Reed takes it from inside the 5-yard line for the Eagles, and brought down by Costanzo. Not Costanza, Costanzo. It's a 20-yard return. And McNab goes back out there. Do you think at all we'll see any Kevin Cobb, their much talked about rookie out of Houston, who was a second-round draft choice in the second half?
And he is the second quarterback today. And we talked with Donovan McNab. He said he's going to do whatever he can to get him in the game, try and get a lead. He told us he deserves a chance to play. He's worked hard. He's prepared hard all year. And I think that shows you the kind of man that he is, Donovan McNab. Very mature, willing to give the young guy a chance.
Tapei is the fullback from the 22, first down and 10. Good block by Justice. Outside it goes for Reggie Brown. Brought down by McGee. The tackle made about the 32-yard line. A gain of about 10 and very close to a first down, depending on how much leeway they give him on that play. And looks like he got the first down. More near the 33.
And the Eagles, it's a difficult team to rush because the ball comes out so quick. Everything's based on timing and rhythm and footwork in the West Coast system. And the thing you know with Donovan McNab, he's been in the system for so long. He's got great familiarity with the concepts, the reads, and the progressions.
It's first and 10. Hank Baskett was one of the wide receivers. Tackle made by Kyle Williams on Westbrook on a gain of 2. He's up to the 35-yard line.
There's a look at Kevin Cobb right here. You know, he's just looking across the field at Trent Edwards, thinking to himself, hey, I got drafted in the second round. There's a guy in the third round. He's making his 9th start today, and he's just chomping at the bit. But I'm telling you, he's in a good situation. He's in a situation with a team that's won. They have a veteran quarterback. He can learn by watching, and eventually when he gets his opportunity, hopefully he'll be ready, and he'll take advantage of it.
4 defensive backs. Now make it 5. Yabodi is in. Second down and 8. Swinging it outside. Catch is made by Tapei, the fullback, to Giorgio over there to make the grab. It's a gain of 4, and he's up to the 39-yard line. Why do you think the Eagles played better on the road this season than here at home in Philadelphia?
I wish I had an answer for you. You know, we talked with Andy Reid, and he wasn't sure either. And, you know, that's the thing. We talked the difference between being a playoff team and a team that finishes 500. It's not much. It's the little things. It's attention to detail. It's being to be able to convert situations like this third down at very critical times in ball games. They didn't do that on a consistent enough basis this season.
3rd and 4. Avant is the third receiver. Nickel secondary remains. They dump it outside. Westbrook dancing with Schobel. Tackles made shy of the first down by 3 yards. A loss of a yard. They got to punt the ball on their first second half possession today.
And this is what makes Aaron Schobel such a great player. He leads them in sacks with 6.5, but he gives you the flexibility. He's athletic enough that he has the ability to drop in space, work down the line of scrimmage, and cover a player like Brian Westbrook and make the tackle.
Rocco will punt, and the #1 punt returner in the NFL, Roscoe Parrish, will be back to retrieve it. No wind to deal with. 17-yard line, and the fake reverse to Leonard. Out of the University of Miami, here is Roscoe Parrish. He's got the kicker to beat, and Rocca makes the stop. Nice tackle by the former Australian rules player from down under, who was introduced to the NFL by former NFL punter Darren Bennett. Rocca blocks him. 17-yard return. Savranka from Australia. Played in Australia's Football League. And he was a star there. Now he's in the NFL and carving out his career here as a punter from the 40-yard line, 1st and 10. Marshawn Lynch, there's a block by Royal and a tackle made. In the secondary, they had a player flying through. It's a gain of 3 on the play. The guy from the secondary was Marcus Pascal. And then Jaquay Thomas coming and making the stop on a gain of 4. They spot the ball at the 44.
And you look at the playoff picture. Tennessee clinches a playoff berth with a win. Cleveland, of course, needs Tennessee to lose. A win or a tie, and a Tennessee tie they'd be in. But AFC playoff picture as well as the NFC playoff picture pretty straightforward at this point in the season.
It's 2nd down and 6, 4 in the secondary. Here they comes Gaither from the middle linebacker position. And now Marshawn Lynch with the blocker ahead. Another block by Royal and a good hit by the center Melvin Fowler. A catch and run of 22 yards on the throw by Edwards. They mark him at the 34-yard line. Good looking play by Marshawn Lynch.
They might have been listening to us at halftime making the correction.
Because it fooled them.
And again, they mixed in a screen, gave the Eagles a little taste of their own medicine. And Marshawn Lynch, maybe not as explosive in the open field as Brian Westbrook, but a pretty good screenwriter in his own right.
5 defensive backs. 1st and 10. Parrish is the 3rd receiver. Marshawn Lynch with the Dockery block. And he's down to the 30-yard line. Around the ankles, he was picked up by Mike Patterson, a defensive tackle out of USC on that line for the Philadelphia Eagles on a gain of 4.
And we always talk about the importance of that opening drive to start a half, but one of the problems the Buffalo Bills have had this season, they're averaging just 9.6 points on the road. That's the lowest in the NFL. They don't score a lot of points on the road. It makes it very difficult to win games when they're playing every game. Every point means so much. 2nd down 6. Sam Aiken is in for the injured Lee Evan, who is back in the locker room. We'll get more on that in a second. Good time for Edwards. Across the middle to Robert Royal. And he's brought down on the play by Akeem Jordan. It's a gain of 13. It's another 1st down. He is to the 17-yard line. They're doing a nice job. We talked about getting the tight ends involved. And Trent Edwards, I tell you, I've been impressed with him. Just good poise in the pocket. He's been very accurate, stepping into his throws and giving his players, his tight ends, a chance to make yards after the catch.
So on this drive, a 22-yard catch and run by Lynch, a 13-yard catch right there by Royal. On the 17, 1st and 10. Marshawn Lynch, a block by Langston Walker. Chased by Jaquay Thomas and knocked out of bounds on the play after a gain of 2 yards. Hit by William James, the ex-Giant who played 4 years in New York. Gain of 2 to the 15.
And one thing the Buffalo Bills have to be comfortable with is the way this offensive line has come along. It's become a position of strength for them. They've invested a lot of money in this group up front. Of course, they're without their Pro Bowler Jason Peters today, but Langston Walker, Butler, Fowler, Dockery, that group has done a nice job not only in pass protection but run blocking for Marshawn Lynch.
Jackson comes in the backfield. Roscoe Parrish is the 3rd receiver. 2nd down and 8. It's Jackson. Hit out of bounds by Jaquay Thomas, the ex-Tennessee Titan. The gain is to the 10. He picks up 5. Jackson, an interesting story. There are only 13 Division III running backs on record since 1980 that have touched the ball in the NFL.
You know, he's been a pleasant surprise. You know, he got an opportunity and he took advantage of it when Marshawn Lynch was dinged up. The thing is, though, is he's a smaller back, and this is really where he struggles in pass protection.
Still 5 in the secondary. 3 wide receivers. 3rd down and 4. Royal, the tight end, the bottom of your screen. Outside to Roscoe Parrish, who is held by Haselio Hansen at about the 7-yard line. It's a gain of 4 and very close to a 1st down at the 7. That's his first catch today, Roscoe Parrish, who was a terrific high school quarterback in the city of Miami, went to the University of Miami, was a 2nd-round pick 3 years ago by the Buffalo Bills. They're trying to find a way to get him more involved.
Well, he has so much speed, and he's a lethal weapon on the outside lanes. Got a 4th down here. He is very slippery after the catch, and he's such a great returner, a punt returner. They're trying to find ways to get him involved in the offense more, as you said, Kevin. One of the problems is when they put him on the outside lanes, he has a tendency to get beat up with the corners with press coverage. That's why it's important to move him in the slot and to motion him around so they can't get that free jam on him at the line of scrimmage.
An extra offensive lineman will be added. Christian Gaddis, a rookie out of Villanova, came off the Buffalo practice squad. And they've also brought in Tim Massaquoi, a tight end out of the University of Michigan. 4th and inches. Lynch is back in. His fullback is the tight end Gaines.
The left side of that front.
Quarterback sneak.
They get it.
By Edwards. I think he's got it. Down to the 6-yard line. The late Bill Walsh, while at Stanford as an assistant athletic director, was the one who suggested drafting Edwards to Marv Levy, the GM of the Buffalo Bills. Longtime friends, obviously, and that is how we ended up in Buffalo as a 3rd-round pick this most recent draft out of Stanford. Let's take a look at Edwards, who got his first taste of NFL action early in the season at New England after J.P. Lossman, the season starter, was knocked out when Vince Wilfork rolled up on his knee.
Well, you know, 5-3 as a starter, and he's really exceeded the team's early expectations going back to minicamp. And you know, when you talk to the coaches, they say he seems a lot further along than most rookies would be at this time. And I think, again, he played at Stanford. He's got a lot of experience out there, but he just comes in when you sit down and you visit with him. He just has a lot of poise for such a young player.
Tell me about his footwork. Tell me about the mechanics. You watched a lot of tape on this kid this week. What do you see early on in his career?
Well, you know what? I like what I see. I think he certainly has the size. He has the arm strength. And the thing that really impresses me when you sit down with him, he's a very intelligent person. He seems to understand their offense. He understands concepts. And he seems like he has a real good grasp of what's happening on the other side of the ball as well.
There are 3 tight ends in the game. 1st and goal at the 7. Lynch gets the fake handoff. Jaquay Thomas put the pressure on the quarterback, Edwards. Nice play by Jaquay Thomas, who replaces Javon Curse on that line as a starter this year, and he has had a very solid season for the Eagles. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
And it's plays like this that I think are positive when I break down Trent Edwards. He gets outside. He realizes there's pressure up in his face. He does the next best thing. He throws it away, and he moves on to the next down. Just a good, smart play by a young player.
There are 5 defensive backs and 2 linebackers. 2nd down and goal at the 7. Parrish is in as a 3rd receiver. Lynch bouncing outside. No place to run and no place to hide. Gaither finally brings him down. And a loss on the play. Loss of 8 yards. They'll spot him at the 16-yard line.
You know, as the season has gone on, they've gotten better at stopping the run. And I think a lot of it has been the front 4, as well as players like Gaither and Gokong, these backers. Look at that. That's called gang pursuit, forcing the running back to the boundary. They really are high on Omar Gaither. They think he can be a steady player in this system for a long time. You can just tell Jimmy Johnson wants to move him around and give him more opportunities in this defense. 5 defensive backs, 2 linebackers. Jackson in the game. 3 receivers for Buffalo. 3rd down and goal at the 16. Edwards. Jackson with some blockers ahead. And slithers his way down to the 5, and he is brought down on the play by Reed and by Stuart Bradley. A catch and run of 11. He's at the 5, and they're going to try for 3, and J.R. Reed slow to get up. You know, both these teams are such big screen teams, and the Buffalo Bills have them all. They have them to the tight end, the wide receiver, and, of course, to the backs. And to be a good screen team, you have to have offensive linemen that can run, that can get up and get downfield and make some blocks in the open field.
Lindell has already knocked in a 29-yard field goal today. This will be a 23-yard try. On Buffalo's first second-half drive, and they come up with 3. The big plays, a 13-yard catch by the tight end Royal, a 22-yard catch and run by Lynch. We're midway through the 3rd in Philadelphia. The Buffalo Bills had it 1st and goal at the 7. They have to settle for a field goal, but they creep closer to the Philadelphia Eagles, who have got a touchdown pass today from Donovan McNab. It is 10-6 with the Eagles on top, under 6 to play, and here's the in-swing kickoff after the 23-yard field goal by Lindell. Carell Buckholder out of Nebraska. And he is brought down on the play by Jabari Greer and Dwayne Wright. 15-yard return. Look at McNab when we come back. 5:47 third. We're back in Philadelphia. Here come the Eagles for a second time in the second half. From their own 30-yard line, first down and 10. Two tight ends. Westbrook. Flea flicker. McNab. Across the middle, it's caught by Curtis, chased by Jabari Greer. A catch and run up to the 49-yard line as the rain continues to fall. A 20-yard pickup and a first down for the Philadelphia Eagles.
And this is a nice job in terms of the concept, because so many times when you think of the flea flicker, you think of a big down the field shot. But the Eagles trick them. They run comebacks and returns on the outside lanes, doing a nice job with Curtis. Just watch. He's going to sell it, double moves him. He puts his foot down at the top and comes right back down the stem. Nice route by Kevin Curtis.
Two tight ends, first and 10. The block by Justice. Blocked by Reggie Brown. Grabbed by Terrence McGee. Another first down catch. That good for 15 yards to the 37-yard line of the Buffalo Bills.
And again, we talk about timing and rhythm, and he just, to me, looks so comfortable right now. Donovan McNabb. I look at his footwork. I look at his eyes. I look where his head is, and I look at him step up and his comfort level in the pocket. He just seems like he's playing his best football of the season right now. And as Andy Reid said, it's unfortunate for us because we feel like we could beat any team right now. He just ran out of opportunities.
I think Keith Ellison is down. They'll look at the starting linebacker. 4:55 to play in the third injury timeout. Starting linebacker Keith Ellison walked off under his own power for the Buffalo Bills. They've replaced him with the fifth defensive back. You see the play selection by Philadelphia today. McNab has thrown a touchdown pass and an interception in the red zone. First and 10 from the 37. Carell Buckholter. And brought down on the play by Angelo Crowell. It's a gain of 4. He's to the 33. We go to JB in our CBS studio.
Kevin and Rich, John Beck's first snap of the game for Miami. He loses the handle. The ball is picked up by Shinadum Ndukwe of Cincinnati. He returns it 54 yards to pay dirt. 28-10 Bengals. And who is upstairs watching from on high but the new VP of football operations, Bill Parcells. And I'm sure, Kevin, he was saying, back to Kevin and Rich.
I think he was sitting next to Ron Wolf.
Ron Wolf, you're right.
He was sitting next to Ron Wolf, the old Green Bay GM.
That poor kid's going to need some counseling when the season's over.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you, JB. Second down and 6 from the 33. Good block by Justice. That is caught by Reggie Brown. Fumbles into the end zone. Recovered by Curtis. It's a touchdown. He did it last week in New Orleans. He does it for his second consecutive week. How do you like that? That'll make your quarterback smile. What a play.
It's called being in the right place at the right time. But what a great throw by Donovan McNabb. Just puncturing the seam. Look at good footwork. Great throw up and down the seam, but never feels the safety coming on the backside, and Kevin Curtis there to make a great catch, a great play.
Last week, it was McNabb who ran in the Superdome toward the end zone. A defensive back for the Saints popped the ball away, and Curtis vacuums it in there in New Orleans. He does the same thing again for a second consecutive week. Wow. Extra point. Akers puts it in 17-6 and 3:42 in the third. Yep. Kevin Curtis with the smile. Another touchdown. His second in as many weeks on a fumble recovery in the end zone. Kevin Curtis, who is 5th in the NFL in yards per catch and has had a 1,000-yard receiving season for a second consecutive week, has recovered a fumble in the end zone for a touchdown. And the ensuing kickoff by David Akers. Roscoe Parrish from the 9-yard line in the rain of Philadelphia for the Buffalo Bills. Runs into his own blocker and then is smothered at about the 34-yard line. Gokong was over there, and Tungafu makes the stop. 21-yard return.
When you go back and look at the touchdown, watch the free safety. He's on the far hash. That shouldn't happen, particularly with the 3 receivers set to the field. And what they're going to do is they're really going to try and stress him out, force him to react. He needs to get over here quicker, and he doesn't. You roll it. You're going to see Donovan just punctures the seam. The safety should be working back to his left. That's just too much space, too much time for the Eagles to get that one in the seam.
Von Olhoffen is on that defensive line for the Philadelphia Eagles from the 34, 5 in the secondary. Aiken taking the place of the injured Lee Evans. Edwards on 1st and 10 through the hands of the intended receiver with the coverage on the play. It was intended for Reed and the coverage on the play by William James. Here's what happened last week in New Orleans for the Eagles. Watch number 80 come out of the corner and scoop it up and get the fumble recovery touchdown right there a week ago, and today minutes ago. There he is again.
And we kid about being in the right place at the right time, but he's a guy that hustles. He doesn't take plays off, and he's always around the football.
Well said. He didn't take the play off. 2nd down and 10. That's Reed on the move. With 2 tight ends, one of which is the blocking fullback. Here comes Marshawn Lynch, and he's off to the races. He's being chased by Hansen. Here he goes, Marshawn Lynch, and pushed out of bounds. Pushed out of bounds at the 10. A guy who's gained over 1,000 yards with a 56-yard burst and a 1st down for Buffalo.
And when you commit this many to the line at the line of scrimmage, one safety takes a bad angle. You see J.R. Reed, and there's a big one, and that's what happens. That Buffalo does such a good job. Jim Johnson trying to get extra men up at the line of scrimmage. That's why run fits are so important.
This is the guy that took the place of Willis McGahee, who is now the starting running back for the Baltimore Ravens. 1st and goal from the 10. Jackson has taken the place of Lynch. 4 defensive backs. Here is Jackson. Runs into the grasp of the middle linebacker Gaither. It's a gain of 1. He's down to the 9. Fred Jackson out of Coe College.
Now the big thing here is, can Buffalo's gotten down here a couple times, and they've had to settle for field goals. And I think the big thing is being a more productive, more efficient team in the red zone, they have to find a way to take some shots. Philadelphia is not going to let you run the ball down here. You have to find a way to throw the ball into the end zone.
3 tight ends, 4 defensive backs, 2nd and goal at the 9. Jackson remained in the backfield. Edwards, Jackson went ahead instead of cutting out, and someone blew that. Whether it was the quarterback or the running back, we don't know. 3rd and goal coming up. Not the place, though, to make mental mistakes.
No, it really isn't. And I think the big thing with Trent Edwards, he's going to have to be alert. I think he's facing one of the best defensive coordinators in the game in Jim Johnson. And what he does, he tests and he probes quarterbacks early, particularly young ones, to make sure they're seeing things and they have answers, particularly in this part of the field.
Jenkins becomes the 3rd wide receiver. 3rd and goal at the 9. There are 5 defensive backs for the Philadelphia Eagles. There's Jackson, who got by Reed, and then he was brought down by Quentin Michael after a gain of 5 and tumbles his way down to the Eagle 4.
That's a win. That's a win if you're the Eagles defensively. They give up the big one, and yet they find a way to stop them and force them to a field goal. And that's a sign of a good defense. You have a breakdown, you give up an explosive play, but you find a way to tighten the screws down in the red zone.
Lindell has had the 2 field goals, both under 30 yards. This will be a 22-yard try. The big play on this drive, a 56-yard run by Marshawn Lynch, the rookie out of Cal. 3 more on the board, 17-9 in the reign of Philadelphia here on the last day of the regular season. CBS Sports is celebrating the bowl season beginning tomorrow as the Oregon Ducks take on South Florida in the Brute Sun Bowl. Then on New Year's Day, the high-scoring Red Raiders of Texas Tech will take on the Cavaliers of Virginia in the Konica Minolta Gator Bowl. That's coming up on CBS. A look at Marshawn Lynch, who's had a good day. Buffalo's had it a couple times. In 1st and goal to go situations, they've had to settle for 2 field goals in this 3rd quarter. Kevin Curtis just recovered a fumble in the end zone. And that puts 7 more on the board for the Eagles. Well, we talked before about this being a very interesting time. Steve Fairchild is the offensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills. He has just accepted the head coaching job a couple weeks ago at Colorado State. He has an influence in his career, Mike Martz. And there's a coach for the Philadelphia Eagles, and not that well-known a story. Their defensive back coach, John Harbaugh, just finished a very close second at UCLA in back of Rick Neuheisel. In fact, I'm told that there were 2 press releases by the UCLA Sports Information Department. It was that close. And Harbaugh is on the radar, one of the great assistant coaches in the NFL. Here's the kickoff. It is Reed. Brought down by Costanzo. Special teams and linebacker player. 26-yard return out to the 32-yard line. Go to CBSSports.com for complete coverage of the NFL playoffs. Get the latest news, playoff seeding, and expert analysis. It's all online now at CBSSports.com. Well, you would think we might see a little Kevin Cobb, who even the quarterback who has got his face all over this Eagles team, Donovan McNab, thought we might give him a chance to play today.
Yeah, I think they want to win this game. They want to make sure they get a lead and they get the game in control.
First down and 10 in nickel secondary by the Buffalo Bills. And Carell Buckholder brought down by DeGiorgio and hit by Yabodi. It's a gain of 1. 1994, this was the Green Bay Packer coaching staff.
Yeah, you look at some familiar faces. Dick Duran there on the right and Andy Reid and some of these other guys. Coaches like John Gruden, Steve Mariucci. Well, that's an all-star staff. No wonder they won a Super Bowl.
Gil Haskell on there and Nolan Cromwell. Now guys that are in Seattle with Holmgren. Second down and 9. Basket. Buckholder was in the backfield. This goes outside, and it's caught by Hank Baskett, second-year player, and undrafted out of New Mexico. They acquired him in a trade with the Vikings last year. It is a gain of 3, and he's up to the 35-yard line.
And we look at those coaches from Green Bay, and you know, I think the job that Dick Duran has done this year, I think it's one of the better coaching jobs in the league, and they've had a number of injuries. Their offense is 31st in the league. The defense is 30th, and yet they were still on the hunt for a playoff spot. And I think they really like where this football team's going. As Dick Duran said, it's just painful getting there with these young players and the injuries this season.
By the way, the third linebacker, Ellison, has not been replaced. They're playing with the nickel the rest of the way. Third down and 6. A bad snap fumbled by McNab, who has already turned it over once today. Buffalo's got the ball at the 28-yard line. And DeGiorgio, the Division II linebacker, who is put into a starting role this year with the injury to Paul Podlesny, picks it up. And look where Buffalo will start, at the 28 of the Eagles.
And you wonder if that ball wasn't just slipped right out of his hands. You see the weather. Donovan McNab could have gone down and just covered up the ball. Instead, he tries to pick it up. That's the wrong decision in that situation.
Do you think the center thought he was going to be underneath?
I think it looks to me that the center in that situation, Jamal Jackson, might have thought that it wasn't a shotgun situation. We'll have to go take another look at that after this play.
Parrish is one of the 2 receivers. Jackson is in the backfield. It's 1st and 10 for the Buffalo Bills. Fred Jackson. And he knifes his way into the secondary and down to the 22 and brought down by Akeem Jordan on a gain of 7, which closes the third quarter. 79 the Eagles. Couple Eagle turnovers, a fumble recovery in the end zone by Kevin Curtis for a second consecutive week. A McNab touchdown pass early in the game. 3 field goals by Buffalo. Second down and 2. McNab and center exchange puffed this ball up, and that's why they're down at the 20-yard line. Jackson, a Gaines tight end block. And then the avalanche of green defensive Eagle players comes in and makes the stop. Akeem Jordan was in there on a gain of a yard to the 19.
You go back and look at Jamal Jackson. I'm almost certain here that he thinks Donovan McNab is actually underneath center. And the problem there is when you have a bad snap in that situation, the smart thing to do is to go down on the ball and cover it up. I think Donovan was thinking he could pick it up there. And you see the rain coming down now. That makes those balls slick.
Extra offensive lineman Christian Gaddis is in atop your screen. 3rd down and 1. Marshawn Lynch is back in the game. Lynch gets by Michael. And it's close to the 18-yard line. You see the gang tackle ensuing and a gain of about 1.5 yards. We'll get the measurement when we come back from our CBS studios in James Brown.
Kevin, Rich, say it ain't so. The Saints did not punt the ball to Devin Hester, did they? Look at what happens, Kevin. 64 yards later, he's in pay dirt. His 6th return of the season for a score, breaking his own single-season mark from last year. 31-17 Bears. Kevin Rich, no.
Have you ever seen a player like Hester?
He is an explosive player. He's a difference maker, and I think he can change the game so quickly, and that's why so many teams don't even dare punt the ball and put it in play and put it in his hands. Don't give him that opportunity.
Well, it is 4th down. They've just brought the sticks and the chains out to measure, and they're going to try for it. On 4th down, they bring out Gaddis again as a tackle eligible. They bring out the tight end, Massaquoi, whose brother, by the way, plays on the Eagles. Thomas Tapei. Massaquoi and Tapei are brothers. You just saw Jim Johnson. What's he got up his sleeve here?
This is a much bigger offensive line. You look at the front of the Buffalo Bills as opposed to what the front 7 of the Eagles are. This is a much bigger, stronger offensive line. They should run the ball straight downhill.
Lynch in the backfield, 4th down and 1. Marshawn Lynch. Oh, he gets it. Slashing his way for a 1st down to about the 18-yard line. Let's see, though. Maybe, you know what? I don't know if he got it. I say initially he did, but it's going to be very close. He had to get to the 18. I thought his forward progress had gotten him enough. Again, very close, which will warrant another measurement. So they'll bring that over there as you take a look at Dick Duran. Here is some size comparisons.
Yeah, you look at this is the big offensive line of the Bills. You look at the Eagles front 7, 6'2", 263. They're quick, they're explosive, but the Bills should win these battles on 3rd and 4th and short. They should win the battle up front. You saw it right there.
If I were Duran and he doesn't get this, I might challenge the spot. They're not going to get it here. In fact, they lost it. I don't know if that's right. I don't know if that'll be worth a challenge or not.
Boy, from our vantage point, it looked like he had it.
I thought he did too. So another time in the red zone goes for naught for the Buffalo Bills, who trail with 13:39 to play in the 4th. The Buffalo Bills have just challenged the spot, which we thought they might do, and we've looked at it on replay during our break, and I think they misplaced
Buffalo is challenging the ruling on the field that the ball was short of the line of game.
I thought he was at least a foot further in than where they've got him marked. Challenges come on the spot of the ball. We'll tell you the results when we come back to Philly. The Buffalo Bills have challenged the spot of the ball on a 4th and 1 run by Marshawn Lynch.
Boy, what a great tackle by Jordan, though, huh? Wow.
And Sheldon Brown. They both came in there. We think the ball should be spotted between the 0 and the arrow. That's where his forward progress went, right there. And right now they've got the ball spotted at the top of the 0 on the hash mark. So I think there's at least some give there of at least a foot, maybe more.
Well, it's just tough from the different angles, though. But it certainly looked like he got out on top of that.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Ooh. Yep.
Buffalo will be charged with his first timeout.
I don't know if he would have gotten the 1st down, but the spot is wrong. They squander great field position because they started that at the Philadelphia 28 on a bad exchange between the center Jamal Jackson and the cornerback Donovan McNab. But they leave the ball where it is. Costs a Buffalo timeout. They've got 2 as you see the rain coming down here in Philadelphia. Ball's at the 19-yard line. They have now put in a 3rd linebacker, Mario Hagan, who is a terrific special teams player, taking the place of the injured Ellison. 1st and 10. Brought down by Leonard. Buckhalter with the carry to the 29. Gain of 10 and a 1st down.
You get a look there at Andy Reid. You know, it's been a difficult season for him and for this football team, but the job that he's done during his tenure here in Philadelphia is nothing short of spectacular. And I think that they will reload. You know, you think they lost 6 games by 8 points or less, and each of those losses really were of the excruciating variety. And I think that you get a healthy Donovan McNab, and they'll add some players, and they'll be back again next year for sure.
2 tight ends, 1st and 10. Buckholder in the backfield, and he gets the call. Grabbed by Hagan, who makes the stop, again taking the place of Ellison. It's a gain of 4. They'll spot the ball at the 33-yard line.
You know, when we sat down with him on Friday, he said it's unfortunate because we're really beginning to play our best football right now, and he said, I feel like we can beat anybody. And it's unfortunate we're not going to get that opportunity. But, you know, the thing that the period, he said there was a period during the season where they were without 5 Pro Bowlers. And it was really too much for them to overcome. And he said we'd get them back players like Dawkins, and we'd spend a week or two trying to retrain them, get them healthy, get them playing again. And it was just, again, too much for them to overcome during the season.
Tapei, the fullback, is in to hand off to Buckholder on 2nd down and 6, and the tackle's made by Hagan and by Kelsey. It's a gain of 1, or a loss of 1, excuse me, to the 32-yard line. Why haven't the Buffalo defensive ends, Rich, had the kind of season they had a year ago?
Well, I think there's a number of reasons. I think one of the things is that teams have run the ball so well on them, and when you're giving up big plays and you're giving up a lot of yards on the ground, you're not getting teams in a lot of situations where they have to throw. The other thing is they've had some injuries, particularly at the linebacker position as well as in the secondary. And so I think it's really hurt players like Schobel and Kelsey in particular. Just 8.5 sacks between the two of them.
3rd and 7, about the 3rd receiver. Nickel secondary for the Buffalo Bills. McNab, it's caught by Curtis. Short of the first down. He curled around, and he was brought down by DeGiorgio and Schobel. It's a gain of 5, and he is up to the 37, but a couple yards shy of a first. 3 and out. McNab has hit now 9 consecutive passes, but that was not good for a first down.
And that's just a staple throw in the system. He would have been better off to continue to run. He tried to get fancy there by putting his foot in the ground and spinning back out. When you run the slant route, the best thing you can do is catch it, use your body, and fall forward.
Rocket a punt. No wind involved in our game today. Deep back is Roscoe Parrish at about the 15-yard line. He'll take it up the middle, run into his own blocker, and go down. Hansen was there. 6-yard return, 47-yard punt, 10:54 to play in the game. In the rain at Philadelphia, 10:54 to play in the 4th quarter from the 21-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Buffalo Bills. Marshawn Lynch is in the backfield. Reed and Parrish are the 2 receivers. Trent Edwards. Here comes Abiamiri. Incomplete. The coverage is by Gokong. They were going for the tight end Royal. 2nd down and 10. This Wednesday, Dave's back and all new for the new year. Don't miss the return of The Late Show with David Letterman. All new starting Wednesday on CBS. 2nd down and 10. Bills have had their chances in the red zone, but they have not been able to get a touchdown.
And the other thing is they spend so much time this season learning how to win, but what they haven't done is finish teams off in the 4th quarter when they've had the opportunity.
4 defensive backs, but 5 receivers out there for Edwards, who goes on it for 2nd down and 10. He scrambles for the first down, and he is out of bounds at the 35-yard line. They had linebackers out there covering the wide players for the Eagle defense. A gain of 14, a run of 14, and a first down.
And this is just good poise. You just watch him in the pocket. It's collapsing around him. He does a nice job escaping, getting out in the edge, and then keeping it alive and making a first down with his legs. This is something you like to see from a young quarterback.
Back to a 2 tight end set, one of which is in the backfield. 1st and 10. 4 in the secondary. It's Jackson. Brought down by Akeem Jordan. There was a ball loose on the play at about the 38-yard line after the gain of a yard. Philadelphia says they've got it. And the officials agree. And a turnover for the Buffalo Bills. Their first today. Looked like Bunkley comes up with it. Roderick Bunkley, who replaces Darwin Walker on that line and has had a very solid season. 2 years out of Florida State, #1 pick a year ago.
Just watch, trying to spin for extra yards.
And the clock at 10:05. And the Eagles will have it when we come back. Well, there's been a coach's challenge on that fumble. You've taken a look at the replay. You think he was down. It was not a fumble.
I think it was, and I think that's one of the reasons why they're going to challenge it. You just watch Fred Jackson trying to get that second effort, but just watch his left arm. Watch his forward progress is stopped. He's down. Watch, look at his left arm. He's on the ground.
One elbow is a knee.
Yep, and not only that, but the ground can't cause the fumble. So
an elbow constitutes being down. It's like a knee.
Yep. But again, you talk about holding that ball. That ball did get away from him, though. And regardless of whether or not he's down or not, you never want to see that ball loose on the ground if you're a running back.
A lot of hard decisions, Rich, have got to be made about players for Dick Jauron and for Andy Reid. And Dick Jauron told us something interesting last night, how you become as a coach when your team has gone through so much adversity, very attached to your players, especially when you're an ascending team and you're getting better week by week.
Well, I think he really likes these players. They've worked hard, they've played hard, and they've been through a lot together. You know, you talk about the injuries and the things that have happened to this football team, but they've hung together, they've battled, they've played very, very hard, and that's why he likes these players. They put it on the line each and every week.
But for sure, for teams like this, two non-playoff teams like the Bills and the Eagles, there is a lot of uncertainty as they enter the offseason.
The one thing you know is change in this business is a constant. There'll be changes. There'll be new players. They will add in terms of the draft and free agency.
After reviewing the play, the runner's left elbow was on the ground. He was in control of the ball. It is down by rule, down by contact. Buffalo will not be charged with a timeout. However, this is their second and final challenge. It'll be 2nd and 9 on the 36-yard line.
Good challenge by Dick Jauron and the Buffalo Bills, and the Bills control the ball, and the clock is at 10:05 to play here in the game. As the crowd and the rain have kind of gone hand in hand. When it was raining, people started to leave. Rain is still coming down, and people are continuing to leave. 2nd down and 9.
Well, you know, there's not a lot, when you watch the Bills offensively, there's not a lot of big plays made through the air. Today, the receivers have just 2 catches. You think about the 2 quarterbacks that have combined, Trent Edwards and J.P. Lawson, they've combined for just 11 touchdowns this season and through the air. And that's a problem. They don't generate a lot of big plays, and it's hard to take a football and go 80 yards against a good defense like the Eagles. You need to pick up some big chunks through the air.
5 in the secondary for the Philadelphia Eagles. 2nd down and 9. Parrish, Aiken, and Reed are the receivers. Here comes Abby Amiri. He pressured him again. This is a good-looking rookie out of Notre Dame who was a 2-time Notre Dame MVP. And he goes shooting through and forces Edwards to throw it away.
And there was some confusion there. You look at the receivers, and I think Trent Edwards was expecting something. The receivers were doing something else. You watch him come up. He's going to look to his right. He's expecting the receivers to do something, whether they had a little audible there that he did not hear. There was some confusion between the receivers and the quarterback.
It is now 3rd and 9 from the 36. No changes either way. 5 in the secondary, 3 receivers. Edwards, that's caught by Sam Aiken out of North Carolina. His first reception of the season. It is a gain of 10. It is a Buffalo 1st down.
And that's what you have to do. You have to challenge this secondary of the Eagles, these corners. Make them play. Don't give them a free pass. And I tell you, you got to do that. And I think the thing they need to do is throw the ball on 1st down more. Attack this secondary and make them compete.
Tight end in the backfield is the fullback. A tight end on the other side in tight. 4 in the secondary. Van Ohoffen has come back in on that defensive line. 1st and 10. Edwards hit as he throws to the hands of Royal. Coverage by Quentin Michael. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
When you get him that open, you got to hit him. And that's the thing. Trent Edwards will go back and look at the film on Monday. You don't get many opportunities in the league. You got to hit him.
What'd you think of the Patriot win last night over the Giants?
There's the guy right there, Tom Brady. He has been spectacular this season. And I think the thing that impresses me the most about him, Kevin, he has never comes unraveled. Despite the circumstances, despite the situation, he just hangs in there and continues to battle.
Lynch in the backfield, 2nd down and 10. Good defensive play shooting through is Akeem Jordan. This is an interesting player, a rookie free agent out of James Madison. Spent 8 weeks on the practice squad, the Atlantic 10 Defensive Player of the Year. Injuries have forced him into the lineup. A loss of 6 right here, back to the 40.
And look at all the defenders up around the line of scrimmage. And this is not a big audible team, the Bills. They don't change many plays at the line of scrimmage. But when Trent Edwards gets more comfortable in this system, they add a new coordinator next year. You hope the offense will expand, and he'll have opportunities to get him in and out of bad situations.
It's 3rd and 16. They need the Philadelphia 44. 5 in the secondary. Edwards over the hands of the outstretched receiver Roscoe Parrish. Incomplete. 4th down, they got a punt.
And that's one of the problems in that situation. You have a 3rd and forever. You keep 7 men in, you only get 3 receivers out. The Eagles wind up dropping 7 in coverage. Not a lot of holes, not a lot of lanes to throw the football.
One of the things they're going to do is probably get that Roscoe Parrish more involved in this offense next year. He's got too many skills to be in a limited role.
Yeah, and they have to do that.
Mormon will punt. He was a terrific track star in Division II. In fact, the track National Athlete of the Year. Deep back is Mahe and waves his arm and has allotted the fair catch back near the 13-yard line on a 47-yard Mormon punt. Let's go back over this season. Take a look at who you think will be the coach of the year in the NFL.
Well, you tell you, the job that Mike McCarthy has done with the youngest team in the National Football League, and you know, all those inexperienced players, the running back position, the wide receivers, and 12-3. And of course, on the offensive side of the ball, a job that Tom Brady has done, all the records and all the accolades. The thing that he cares most about is just wins. He lines up and plays at a very high level each and every week for the Patriots. And it's a reason that they ran the table, in my opinion, went 16-0, because of the consistent play of Tom Brady.
Hargrove is in for Schobel at the defensive end. There are 5 defensive backs. It is 1st and 10. Behind Curtis, uncatchable, incomplete with the coverage by Jabari Greer from Donovan McNab. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
You've got plenty more awards. You look at the Defensive Player of the Year, and I go back to last year when Jacksonville put 375 yards on this Indy defense. Bob Sanders comes back in the playoffs. They shut him down. And, of course, the Rookie of the Year, Adrian Peterson. I mean, who would have thought this guy could come in and be as explosive and as dynamic as he has been just his first year? And you see honorable mention Patrick Willis, the linebacker for the 49ers, had another good year for the rookies.
2nd down and 10 from the 13-yard line. Here's McNab, and he's brought down, and Chris Kelsey gets him. Kelsey with a sack, his 3rd of the season, 4th sack authored by the Buffalo Bills today. Back to the 11-yard line.
And there's just no quit in this Buffalo football team. You see the right tackle, Winston Justice, he's having some problems with Chris Kelsey, and he needs help. And the way you do that is you get a tight end over there to give some presence, or you have the back help out and chip on Chris Kelsey.
Greg Lewis becomes the 3rd wide receiver. 5 defensive backs for the Bills. 3rd down and 12 from the 11.
Screener draw. What you got to be thinking.
Buckhalter was in the backfield. McNab. That is caught by Reggie Brown in front of Jabari Greer. He gets a 1st down to the 29. A pickup of 19 yards on 3rd down and 12.
And I'll tell you, when you give him protection, you give him time, he is a very accurate thrower. He puts this one just in the right spot for Reggie Brown. That's pretty good coverage by Jabari Greer. Just going to run a little in route. Does a nice job, flat angle coming out of the break. That's so important for receivers not to drift and give Jabari Greer a chance to get up underneath that throw.
Linebackers Leon Joe, Hagan, and DeGiorgio for the Buffalo Bills. 1st and 10. And a quick handoff and no gain on the play. They had Hargrove there along with Larry Triplett, the ex-Indianapolis Colt. The carry was by Buckhalter. No gain. All remains at the 30-yard line.
And one of the tough things for the Bills is there's very little margin for error. They have to play very well and error-free each and every time out to have a chance to win. That's what Dick Duran told us. He says, we just, because of the injuries, because of our personnel situation, we just don't have the depth. We have to play on the screws against the Eagles today to have any chance to win.
It's 2nd down and 10. Buckhalter remained for in the secondary. McNab incomplete. Looking for Brown, who is covered across the way by Terrence McGee. So you think McNab is going to stay in Philadelphia and be the quarterback in the 08 season for the Eagles?
Well, I'll tell you, you look at his career numbers, I don't see how there's any question that he wouldn't be back. And I was looking at, he's 3rd in the National Football League in win percentage among active quarterbacks with at least 100 starts. I mean, he does a great job taking care of the football. And I think when he gets his legs back underneath him, I think that's the big thing. If he can come back healthy and stay healthy next year, I think he can get back to playing at that Pro Bowl level.
3rd down and 10. A block by Justice. Pocket again crumbles. Schobel has got him. Incomplete on the pass. Are they going to rule him down? Is it incomplete? It is an incomplete pass.
And
so it'll be 4th down. Schobel was right in his grill.
And that sack is on Donovan McNab. You just don't get this much time in the pocket. There's plenty of good protection. He steps up. He's trying to find an open receiver. It's just not there. You just can't take a sack in that situation.
Well, he got it away a bit. It was not a sack, but the pressure was there nonetheless by Schobel. Rocca will send this downfield to Roscoe Parrish. Rain is lightened up. Here comes Parrish from the 29. He gets by Lewis. He gets by Jordan. He gets by Avant. And then he is drilled on the play by Dornbos, who is the long snapper. 2-yard return after all that running around in a 40-yard punt. 5:53 to play in the game. You got these two teams as your biggest surprises this season.
Well, everybody knew the Patriots would be good, but not that good. 16-0, just an incredible season. And then the Packers, 8-8 a year ago. They finished the season strong. And then, of course, the disappointments. The Dolphins, what a disappointing year, of course. The Ravens, 13-3 a year ago, 4-11 this season. Again, turnovers, a big, big part of the story for both of those football teams.
4 in the secondary, 1st and 10 from the 33. That is Lynch, chased by Gokong, hit by Brown, and brought down on the play at the 31-yard line by Bunkley. It is a loss of 2 on the play, back to the 31. We've talked about the Philly quarterback situation coming into the season. Edwards was the backup, and J.P. Lossman was the starter for Buffalo. Where do you see the future of Lossman taking him?
Well, I'll tell you, I think he's certainly under contract next year, but he's probably going to be playing behind Trent Edwards. I think the coaching staff is really high on this guy, and when you visit with him, you watch him practice, he has a presence about him. He's a very intelligent player. They like Trent Edwards.
2nd down and 12. Edwards throws, caught by Josh Reed, the Biletnikoff winner out of LSU. He is tackled by Sheldon Brown, but gained to the 45. It's a pickup of 25. And a 1st down. Josh Reed has more receptions than any wide receiver in the NFL this year without scoring a touchdown.
And this is what you have to do. You have to throw the ball down the field some. They've lost too many yards on 1st down. You just watch Josh Reed. And look at the separation. Not a lot of separation between the tight end and the receiver, Michael Gaines. And that's a problem when you break them down on film. Not good separation.
Reed has 51 catches this year. 1st and 10. Gaines drops it. Incomplete. They ruled incomplete. Big hit was put on by Michael. Incomplete pass.
Talked about rushes on 1st down for losses. And now you can see him shifting gears a little bit, throwing the ball a little bit more on 1st down. I think that's how you have to attack this defense.
Hey, when you're playing in a season-ending game and there's nothing after this, do you think about getting injured and what it might mean for your off-season? I mean, are these guys thinking about that right now?
You can't help but think about it. The last thing you want to do is get hurt in a game like this, have an off-season surgery, and have to stick around and rehab all off-season.
2nd down and 10. Jackson was in the backfield, offers a block. Here comes Gaither. Knocked it away, incomplete pass. Boy, they are all over Edwards. It'll be 3rd down and 10. It's been a while since Buffalo has been in the playoffs in the NFL.
Yeah, it has been, and I think that one of the problems is they've had a lot of turnover at the head coaching position, and certainly, Kevin, you and I have talked about it, the inconsistent play at quarterback. And you look at all those teams, all those franchises, and they've all gone through coaching changes, and they've gone through spotty play at the quarterback position. Can't win in this league without stability and consistency in production from the head coach and the quarterback.
3rd receiver is Parrish. Hansen is the 5th defensive back. 3rd down and 10. Here they come again, and Howard has got him, but the pass is away. It's caught by Jackson, who is caught and turned by Stuart Bradley. It's a loss of 7 yards on the play. It's back to the 48 as the clock continues to tumble down. Bradley, who led Nebraska in tackling a year ago, and a 3rd-round pick as a rookie.
And you're seeing a defense that has a lot more speed than this offense. Up in the backfield, they're getting pressure. They're making Trent Edwards move and get rid of the ball before he's ready to do it. And that's how you win on defense.
Here's Brian Moorman, the punt. Rain is picked up again. Reno Mahe is back at the 10-yard line for the Philadelphia Eagles. Waves it off. He'll stay away, and out of bounds it goes inside the 12-yard line. Good-looking punt by Moorman. Well placed at 41 yards. 3:35 to play. Let's revisit your game points from about 3 hours ago.
Well, I'll tell you what, Buffalo did a pretty good job containing Brian Westbrook, certainly on the ground. Just 7 rushes for 41 yards. Trent Edwards Not any touchdowns and interceptions, no sacks. They've done a pretty good job, but just 14 of 28 for 133 yards. A lot of them coming here late in the game.
Rain now falling the hardest it has fallen today. Ball will be covered and then put down here at the 11-yard line. Welcome to rainy Philadelphia. For those of you watching the Jacksonville-Houston game, here's a quick pass on 1st and 10, caught by Hank Baskett. He picks up 4 yards on the play. Brought down by Leon Joe. Donovan McNab has thrown a touchdown pass in this game, also a red zone interception, a lot of field goals. The Bills had red zone issues today, struggling 4 possessions in the red zone and coming up with only 3 field goals.
And they've been very patient offensively. A lot of screens and some draws, a ton of checkdowns in the passing game. High percentage throws force you to be sound defensively in every phase.
4 in the secondary, 2nd down and 6. Both teams come into today 7 and 8. Eagles have won 2 straight. Buffalo has lost 2 straight. It's brought by Kevin Curtis, who's brought down by Kelsey Curtis for the 2nd consecutive week. Recovered a fumble for the Eagles in the end zone for a touchdown. That's a 7-yard pickup, and they spot the ball at the 23.
And the number of pressures that we've seen from Buffalo today, a lot more than we normally see. They must have seen something from the Eagles. I think they don't want to let Donovan McNab get comfortable back there. They feel like by getting pressure on him, making him get rid of the ball early, that's their best chance to stop the Eagles.
Turnovers in the game. The Eagles have had 3, and the Buffalo Bills have had 2. It's 1st down. Buckhalter brought down by Scott Bryan. No gain on the play. 2:05 to play. You see the rain, and Buffalo has called a timeout with 1 remaining. Second-year coach Dick Duran has had more players of any team in the NFL put on an injury list, and that has been part of the reason why this team is staggered. But shockingly, with all those injuries and a rookie quarterback and a rookie running back, they've gone 7 of 8 this year.
Yeah, we talked earlier about being at one of the better coaching jobs in the league this year. And see Trent Edwards. I think the future is certainly bright here in Buffalo. You know, it's tough. You think about their offense, and they're young at critical spots. You know, the only team in the National Football League to start a rookie quarterback and Trent Edwards and a rookie running back. It's going to take a while, but they're certainly headed in the right direction.
And a look at the AFC playoff picture. New England capturing everything with that pristine 16-0 record, home field throughout the playoffs.
Well, I tell you, they're going to be tough to beat, but Indianapolis played them very tough the first game, had them down in the 4th quarter, a chance to win it, let that one slip away. San Diego playing better. And Jacksonville, a team that everyone's talking about because they have the ability to run the ball and play solid defense, and getting great play from their quarterback, David Garrard.
It is 2nd down and 10. The Buffalo Bills watch the Eagles call a timeout.
Well, that's unusual in that situation, isn't it?
And let's swing over to the NFC playoff picture, which has Dallas, by virtue of Green Bay's loss last week in Chicago, getting home field throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, you know, that game may come back to haunt the Packers. Now they win and the Cowboys win, they'll have to head back to Dallas, quite possibly for the NFC Championship game, and they have not played well on the road at Dallas. But hey, the Giants, they're going to have a tough one next week against the Buccaneers, and Minnesota, New Orleans, Washington still have a chance.
3 receivers, 5 in the defensive secondary, 2nd down and 10. Here's McNab with the pressure on him, and he throws downfield, caught by Craig Lewis. He beat the 2nd-year defensive back, Yabodi, and he's all the way down to the 35 on a 41-yard catch and run. We're at the 2-minute warning with 1:58 to play. Donovan McNab has thrown for 346 yards today, a touchdown and a red zone interception, his 3rd 300-yard passing game this season, and his 4th strong performance in a row. From the 37, 1st and 10. This is Terrell Buckholder. He's was brought down by Leon Joe, among others, back to the 42-yard line with a loss of 5 on the play.
When you get these heavy 8-man fronts, they do a nice job moving the pocket. You're going to see Donovan McNab get out on the edge, watch them run the little corner route, and the receiver's going to come back in and work to the flat. They move the protection. They get him out on the edge, give him a chance to get up there and work on the secondary. He does a nice job throwing the ball on the perimeter with someone in his face, getting it downfield to Greg Lewis. And in those situations, you know Buffalo is playing to stop the run. Good call by Andy Reid, getting Donovan McNab out on the corner and letting him make a play.
Well, here's our game in a nutshell. We talked about the numbers for McNab, the red zone ineffectiveness of the Buffalo Bills today with 4 possessions and only 3 field goals to show for it. And the Bills on 3rd down, although that doesn't give you the length of those 3rd downs, only 2 of 12. They couldn't keep drives going. 2nd down, 15 from the 42. A couple tight ends and 4 in the secondary for the Bills. Buckhalter, a to-pay block. And he is brought down with Leon Joe, among others, making the stop. It is a loss of 3 back to the 45. Coming next, the Pittsburgh Steelers will take on the Baltimore Ravens. The Chargers will play the Raiders, or the Chiefs will play the New York Jets. Check local listings for the game and time in your area. More people watch NFL games on CBS than any other network. So now it is 3rd down and 18 yards to go. Timeouts. Philly has 2. Buffalo is out of timeouts. We talked about this for our original audience, since we have brought most of the country here to Philadelphia. Your feeling is McNab will stay here and be the quarterback next season for the Eagles.
I don't see how he wouldn't be. You're talking about a 5-time Pro Bowler that's led the Eagles to 4 NFC Championship game appearances and more postseason wins than any other quarterback in team history. And I tell the fans in Philadelphia, you better be careful what you ask for. This guy is a productive player. I think he's finally feeling good. I think his legs are starting to come back. And you know, when you sat down with Marty Morningweg, the offensive coordinator, and Andy Reid on Friday, they're excited about Donovan McNab. They know that he's going to be better next year from having to go through this experience, and they really like the way he's played the last month of the season.
It has only been 13 months since he blew that knee and had a knee reconstruction, and it takes a long time for these guys to get back, especially someone like McNab, who uses his legs so much at that position.
Yeah, and they said he really had to learn how to play. You know, he didn't have all his facilities to be able to get out and run around and make plays, and so he had to learn to play the position a little bit differently. He said that took a while, but he's getting comfortable, and again, he's getting healthy.
So with 3 receivers and a nickel secondary, 3rd down and 18. And there is the play by Buckhalter. So Buckhalter picks up 11, shy of the 1st down to the 34-yard line. And the clock continues to tick. Buffalo is out of timeouts. Philadelphia has 1 remaining. And the punter, Rocky, is on the field for the Philadelphia Eagles. Both teams at 7 and 8. We welcome our new audience here to Philadelphia. The Eagles with a 2-5 home record, but they've won 2 consecutive games in New Orleans and Dallas after losing the previous 3 games going into those 2.
I think one of the biggest decisions that they have to make, Buffalo, I'm talking about Dick Duran, is who they hire as their next offensive coordinator. You look where this offense has gone. You know, in 04, they were 25th. In 2005, they were 28th. 2006, they were 30th. They're going in the wrong direction. They need to bring in a coordinator and really help this football team. That's really where they struggle. Defensively, they're good enough to get it done. Offensively, they need more production.
Rich, we saw a great effort last night by both New England and the New York Giants. This is a meaningless game here in Philadelphia. Have you seen the kind of effort and the integrity that you think these players should play with in this game today?
I have, and you know, Dick told us last night, the integrity in our league, it's about effort. And both of these teams have put forth the effort and energy you'd expect from professionals.
This one whistles into the end zone and out. And so 10 seconds remain in the season for the Bills and the Eagles. The executive producers of the NFL on CBS, Sean McManus and Tony Petiti. And today's game was produced by Jim Rickoff, directed by J. Brian Lilly. The senior producer of CBS Sports in the NFL today is Eric Mann. The director is Bob Mattina. The coordinating producer of the NFL on CBS is Lance Barrow. The coordinating producer of CBS Sports is Harold Bryant. Associate directors of today's game here in Philadelphia, Steve McKee. Broadcast associate John Morales. Special thanks to our Statistician Pat McGrath. From the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. This is Jackson. Laterals it off to Josh Reed. He is pursued by Jaquay Thomas. And that's it. Zeros on the scoreboard, and the season ends with Philadelphia going to 8-8. And the Buffalo Bills falling to 7-9. 3 consecutive wins for the Eagles to finish the season. So for Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan saying so long from Philadelphia. Coming up, the Best Buy update. Happy New Year's from CBS Sports.